All right, check. Can you guys hear me now? Perfect. There we go. I think it's good. This hell of a night. God, it's just like dub after dub after dub after dub right now. It's just great. Just a great way to get the week going. I just what I need. Just what I need here. So anyway, guys, let me know if you can hear me because I'm getting a little concerned now that it's not working. But like my whole board went dark on my mixer, so I can't even tell right now. Can you guys hear me? All right, hold on. Wrong mic. All right, audio. How about this? Is this better? Okay, this should be fixed now. All right, this should take care of it. Wrong mic. So much better. All right, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, but whatever with this. I don't know. I don't know. This is just, it's what it does. It wants to get all tardy. All right, guys. What the hell is going on with this stuff? All right, whatever. Welcome to Tuesday night. That was smooth. That was smooth for 5 minutes. God, I'm not messing around anymore. We're just gonna run it as is, and stuff's not running 100%. I couldn't even get the camera to work for a minute, and that was starting to get a little frustrating. It's got this weird setup, and it didn't want to do what I was trying to get it to do, and it's like, I don't understand. And anyway, we are moving on. It is Tuesday night. My name is Sean. I'm potentially criminal. I am an attorney, and you might think an abject, tard out in the Cleveland, Ohio area. And tonight we are talking about Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, the Tate brothers. You might know them as the top G's. In fact, the toppest of the G's. The best alpha males who have ever alpha... Is it... Back to the wrong mic. All right, hold on. All right, there we go. Okay, so anyways, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, the top G's, the toppest of the G's, the most alpha of alpha males, the Bugatti bros. Yes, there are men fighting back against the Matrix, helping you, brokey incels like you out there, chat. I know you're all out there, helping you get through to the Matrix and become a player, to become a hustler. Yes. So they are there. Just had to figure it out. So no, I wouldn't have ate it. There's nothing there. So if you guys have never seen Andrew Tate before, I'll just give you a little bit of a taste of him. He became big a couple years ago, being part of the alpha dog, manosphere shtick. And this is kind of the stuff he this is a pretty good example of him right here. There's some good super clips of him out there. Anyways, Andrew Tate is a former he was a kickboxer out in Thailand. He wasn't like the best, but he won a couple of matches. And after a while, he started basically running cam girls. And from there, Andrew Tate then also started a thing called Hustlers University, where he scammed people out of money, trying to teach them how to be alpha dogs while he posed in front of his Bugatti that he has out in Romania, where he's out in the third world. So this is a pretty good example of Andrew Tate. And we're gonna just, if you guys don't know him, this is gonna give you a little bit of a taste. A little bit of the taste we're dealing with. do his accent I can. He's got the most mongrelized accent ever. It's so, and here's the problem. He's a dual US citizen and UK citizen. So he's got a very garbage accent. You're gonna understand this. He sounds retarded. That's because he is. So, anyways, this is him with Piers Morgan. This is one of his more kind of famous quotes or famous things here. So this is him talking to Piers Morgan.
To make you happy. Her job is to make herself look good. Her job is to work out for your benefit. Blah, 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 blah. It is actually just misogyny.
Do you think a woman looking good has no benefit at all to her?
Of course it does.
Okay, so it's not for my benefit. I think a man should provide for a woman financially, completely and utterly. If she wants to work, if my partner were to say to me right now, I really feel like getting a job that would make me happy, then I'll say work. But she doesn't have to. Her job is looking after the children, looking after me, and being as happy as possible. I am a man. My life is stressful. My life is pain. I go to jail. I suffer. I have to deal with making.
Little did he know how realistic that was when he got jailed in Romania for human trafficking. But okay.
Money. I have constant, endless headache. I do all of that so I can give you everything, but then I get to have you. Your job is to be here. I want you to smile. I want you to look your best and feel your best all of the time. Now, I go through so much pain so that we can be financially secure. So I hope the woman I care about does not have to work a job. If that makes me a bad person, then so be it.
So that's where Andrew Tate's like, I'm looking out for women and I'm going to do the best things there. But he's just so cringe. It's very cringe what he does. But here's a good example of things.
As a high-value woman, if I respect and love my partner, I'm not putting that pressure. I would say, hey, do you know what? But there are women that actually enable men to feel.
Okay, sorry, it's not working. We're gonna skip that part. But anyways, he tries to make himself. Yeah, the background light bounces off his bald head. Yes, bro is bald. Bro is very bald, very very bald. Does he wear sunglasses indoors for an interview? Yes. Andrew Tate, though, has also done a couple of bangers, and this is probably his most banger. This is how cringe the guy gets. This is how cringe he gets here. So we're gonna go to this one here because you guys are gonna be like, what? And I'm telling you this is 100% true. So this is Andrew Tate being the top G at his pad in Romania.
Ignore the construction. I'm rebuilding my mansion. You'll see when it's done. We'll do an episode of Cribs. I had to get this area here. I bought my neighbor's house. I had to construct a specific area for the Bugatti. Anyway, that's all going to be lit up and shit. Bugatti logos. You broke boys don't know. Listen, I recently posted a question on Twitter asking, would you rather have sex with a transsexual, which is a legitimate 10, or a woman, which is a legitimate 1? And everyone's sitting there clicking woman, 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 because they think they're going to be gay if they do anything else, but they're not.
Because that would make you pretty gay. If you're fucking a tranny, that makes you kind of gay.
Actually thinking about the question. I am so smart. I operate on so many levels higher than the average man. You people are not thinking about the question. When I say a 1 and a 10, I mean Megan Fox with a dick. That's the tranny. Or Hulk Hogan with a pussy.
There you go. I mean, listen to this, chat. This is like Pericles, Sophocles, Aristotle, Plato, Cicero, all just rolled into one. This is dimensional brain thinking here.
That's the girl. This is the question I'm asking. Megan Fox or Hulk Hogan? So you're thinking, well, I don't want to be gay, so I just clicked the girl, the number 1, did it? You're going to fuck Hulk Hogan? Okay, yeah, there's a pussy, but he's got mustache and muscles and shit. He's all hairy, big dude, 6'5". It's pretty gay to me. That sounds pretty gay. I don't care if it's a pussy. That is gay. Whereas Megan Fox, okay, he's got a dick, but maybe you can, scoot it out the way. I'm still Megan Fox.
I'm not going to lie. If you have to scoot it out of the way, that means you're touching the dick. That's pretty gay. It's not your own dick.
I'm saying at least she's small and shit. You can get your hand around her neck, mess her up. You ain't messing up Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's going to mess you up. So this is the question I'm asking. You need to operate on a higher plane. Think about this. This is important. This is cultural. This affects the world we now live in.
Also, I just noticed this. That's like a Nick Rekieta style tattoo right there. So make of that what you will, chat. Make of that what you will. I'm going to leave that there for you to ponder.
What is straight? What is gay? It's all a big sliding spectrum, isn't it? Because if you're going to sit here and go, oh, no.
Oh, there definitely is some spectrum stuff going on here. There definitely is some spectrum stuff going on. I think we can all agree with Andrew Tate. The spectrum, yes. Yeah, it's pretty spectral. Pretty spectral. Oh, buddy. Pretty spectral. Pretty fucking spectral. Oh, no, Andrew. Oh, no. But brother. Ew, brother. What's that? Oh, oh. You can't have it. You can't have this. This is not acceptable in America. Yes, on a higher plane, he's cultural. Pretty sure that's not a spectrum. Well, yes, it's the entire spectrum. Yes. Schnauzer Patrol says, sure, it doesn't fit. Well, it's meant to be because it's going to be, I'm Jack. Whoa, I'm Alpha Dog. Yes. Andrew thinks the D is the best part. I'm sure he does. So, but anyways, this is, there you go.
It's gay to bang Megan Fox with a dick. I counter that argument. It's gay to bang Hulk Hogan with a pussy. So which one is it?
That is the biggest gay dandy nonsense I've ever fucking heard. Oh, it's okay because she's hot and got a dick. It's like, brother. And it's funny because he's now like he's converted to Islam, and it's like in Islam they just be like, I'll cut both your heads off. We're not even bothering with this. You both insult Muhammad. Yeah. So, yeah, there's still a dick. Yes, it's all gay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, Jefferson Post for $2. Yes. Carthage must die. And bang troons. Cato. Probably. Yes. Gnaeus Pompey said that as well. The Battle of Philippi. That's what they talked about before the battle began. Mark Antony, as he walked down the steps to greet the crowd, says, friends, Romans, tranny men, lend me your cocks. Hold on one second, chat. Hold on one second, chat. Be right back. Sorry, we're being loud for 2.0 tonight, chat. We're being a little loud. Got to be careful. Clyde made a run for it. No, 2.0 was like, you're being a little spazzy. And I'm like, well, isn't that kind of what I do? And she's like, just not right now. She's like, do you really have to act like a tard right now? And I'm like, isn't that my job? And I'm pretty sure that caused her a headache or something. So we're going to leave that alone for now. Okay. So moving on from here, chat. Andrew Tate has had a long history of shit that's really questionable. And from here, Andrew Tate has been accused of a lot of things. And one of the biggest things is being a human trafficker and abusing women. And a lot of that comes from his own statements where he admits to running cam girl operations, where he basically admits to kind of luring girls in and hanging out with them. And then eventually he gets them to start doing cam girl work for him. And he gets, their information and basically kind of, I'm not going to say holds them hostage, but obviously he's not using them for his own benefit like that. And from here, what Andrew Tate does, no, Sweet Tooth, this is not an April Fool's joke, but he is a fool. Andrew Tate is a fool. This is Andrew Tate discussing what he's done. And it's like a supercut. And it's pretty fucking creepy. So this is him interviewing people and bragging about doing all this nasty shit that he's going to start suing people for here very shortly as we get into the lawsuit.
That teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me to work on webcam for me.
Because that's what I did. That was my MO was find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me. And that's how I got rich. So that teaches everything I know from start to finish about not only getting girls, not only obtaining them, but retaining them.
I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in.
Hold on, Bella, I'm not saying he's cool. I said he's a fool. I said this isn't April Fool's, but Andrew Tate is a fool. Like, everybody calmate. Like, we all just gotta, like... No, Andrew Tate's a fool, not cool.
In my house and make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense. Like, I was not trying to have sex with women. I was trying to get women to obey me. And I realized that's easier if they like to have sex with me. If they don't like having sex with me, it's pretty hard to make them listen to me.
I don't mention webcam until after I've had sex with the girl. Your bottom bitch, the new girl, you go out for fucking a nice dinner. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear it from the girl. And this is where your bottom bitch has to be trained. That's why I said it's so important to have a good first girl.
It says the criminal activities of these.
This is like if Destiny had more game and a lot more like planning ability.
Defendants are a form of slavery, according to the prosecutor's office, like 19th century U.S. slave owners who branded their slaves with a red iron. Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate defendants.
Okay, we're going to skip ahead here.
Girl was exploited. It's a means to an end. Every single Bond girl was exploited. That's exactly what I do. When I watch a Bond film and I see him basically pimp a bitch, to me that speaks to my heart. I've been there. I've done that. Anyone who's followed me long enough knows that I first made my $1 million with a webcam business. I have met beautiful women with a good personality and thought she will make me money. I have to this. I don't want to. I just need the money.
So Vivian's been with me 6 years. She's completely head over heels in love with me. She wants kids with me, everything. And we met and we fell, whatever. We're in love. When I bring on new girls, I usually pair them with Vivian. Because Vivian's younger. Melissa's like 28. Vivian's like 21. Vivian's
So that means Andrew met her 6 years ago. So she was about 15.
younger. She's more fun, more outgoing. I built my business off the back of my dick. That's how I built it. That's how I got rich. So I became militant with the pimping. And my bottom bitch understood it. And she understood that perfectly.
So there you go. So he basically admits a lot of this shit. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Oh boy. There's another famous clip here, and this is of Andrew Tate. Here you go. This one is yeah.
I'm fucking all these 16-year-old women or 18-year-old women, whatever the law is in America. 18?
It's 18 usually. You get married at 16.
All right. In Romania, 16. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking all these 18-year-old women, blah, blah, blah. I'm fucking all these 16-year-old women.
Yeah. Okay. Good job. Good catch there. You know, the Cobra Tate. Good catch there. Then this is the last one. So this is like, you could tell this is from years ago. This is 2017. Here you go. This is him in 2017.
What these kids saying?
Rev. It's like, fuck off, mate. You don't pay the fucking petrol bill. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck would I rev for you? If you've got a fit sister who's 16, maybe. But you're just a little douchebag. I don't listen to your shit.
So there you go. Just how we, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's just so you get a little taste of what we're dealing with. So what happened with Andrew Tate recently? Well, Andrew Tate, the top G, got a little butt hurt. And went after a bigger account on Twitter who was kind of calling him out for being a piece of shit. You know, and wasn't afraid to say things, and people were starting to highlight stuff. So Andrew Tate got a little fired up here. And an ambulance went down the street. Okay. So here we go. There is a lawsuit filed in the state of Florida. And it's funny because Andrew Tate has left the state of Florida and went back to Romania, which you're like, huh? Because this is also the same state that was saying, we want to prosecute him for being a fucking scumbag. And everybody's like, oh boy, yes, please, let's do it. And we haven't gotten there yet. So you're just like, oh wow. Oh, wow. Well, that is where we are. So let's get started, guys. Let's get started. So you have Andrew Tate, his brother, and Tristan Tate, and the Andrew Tate, the Tate brothers, the top G's, versus John Doe, also known as Crayon Murders. If you guys want to go, like, this is a good Twitter account to follow, Crayon Murders. So where I saw this because he got served, he got a copy of it, he got notice of this. So it's really good. It's really good. So they're suing for damages exceeding $50,000. That's just a threshold thing. Defamation per se, commercial defamation, and civil conspiracy. Oh no, chat, they're gonna do the RICO. Oh no. Oh no, chat. They think he did the RICO again. This ain't good. This ain't good, chat. This ain't good at all. Like, what does this do? Like, what it do, chat? What it do? So, and also, I just don't understand, why is there like no indent here? Like, this is a problem. So anyways, it talks about the plaintiffs, Tristan and Andrew. I do like when you, like, shit's capitalized. It helps. So they're suing a couple of different people here. And we're going to get to who all these people are because they're going to get to the parties. So we'll do this. Tristan and Andrew Tate are businessmen who have been residing in Romania for the past 10 years. Thus, plaintiffs are considered stateless for purposes of federal removal jurisdiction. Now, that's the idea that they're trying to keep this, so they want to keep it in state court. This is just a little, you know, they are still U.S. citizens, though. And you saw what happened when Trump brought them back. They came straight to Florida. So, yeah. So the idea is basically they're trying to say, like, you can't take us to federal court. You can't take us to federal court. If you do, it's going to be very, 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 very hard. So can you even do RICO in a civil court? You can do it. It's almost impossible to prove. Trying to prove RICO in a civil setting is damn near impossible. Just it's hard. It's hard to show. It's not something people can typically do. As far as things are concerned, because you've got to show so much, and it's a very high burden. It's a very, very, very high burden. Oh, we got a Hella raid. Hi, Indy Cindy. Hello, Hella. And all the Hellers, the Hellions. I don't know what you guys are gonna call yourself there. So the first defendant, and we're gonna get to the defendants here, and these are all names on Twitter. And they don't specify that. And I think that's something that's a little sloppy. The first one is the real Susie Wynn 1. They talk about Mary Doe is Avalon 1T. There's John Doe, the Crayon Murders. And it's on information and belief. These are not residents of the state of Florida. But they have directed the social media postings into the state of Florida to specifically influence the public opinion regarding a case filed by plaintiffs in Palm Beach County, Florida. So that's how they're trying to get this here. Okay. They're also pointing out these are adults over the age of 18. And we're moving on from there. They do have some information about these guys. Okay. But we don't have a ton of information. The reason they go to all this, and they talk about being of the age of 18, and then it says they're otherwise sui juris, means that they're of age, they're of independence, they believe that they're there. So they think Jane Doe is of the age of 18, so she's eligible for jurisdiction. It's interesting they don't say Mary Doe because they don't know her age. But for some reason, they're concerned about this age, which makes you wonder, like, you know, sui juris, okay. What about her? What about Mary? Are they too young or too old? John Doe is also otherwise sui juris. They think he's over age 18. They do know other people, though. A guy named Nathan Livingston, also known as Milk Bar TV, has also directed social media postings into the state of Florida. And they do the same thing again. June Doe is mad about sheep. I love that one. Excuse me. So, all right. So where are we at here with this? We are moving on to the next part of this. Mad about sheep. They're over the age of 18. Same thing again. Jack Doe is gadget 440-27447. And that's the great thing about the internet. We're getting to like cases where people are gonna have like, like Dick Ripper 7722 or Big Balls 91 is their screen names. It's getting better and better. He's over the age of 18. He's not a resident of the state of Florida. These people are not residents of the state of Florida. They're talking about James Doe, CS Skeptic. He's not a resident of the state of Florida. He is over the age of 18. Thoughts and Players. That's another funny one, I think. That's a very creative name. Is otherwise 18 and not a resident of the state of Florida. Nobody lives in the state of Florida here. So Rose Doe is from the Broken Side. And they are also not from the state of Florida. They're also over the age of 18. USAMA Broad, over the age of 18. They do believe she is a resident of the state of Florida. There's another person, Matthew Jury, is a resident of the United Kingdom that has directed communications and social media postings in the state of Florida, specifically to influence public opinion, and is adult over the age of 18. But here's the thing, and I don't, this becomes an issue. You're trying to sue somebody out of the United States. At that point, it's like, that's going to be interesting. Eleanor Gatton is a resident of the state of Florida or state of Virginia and has directed things here. Okay. Muriel Manny is Eminem Doe, which is a weird way they do this. Is not a resident of the state of Florida. Okay, so we got the whole names of people. Zachary Bonifilo, also known as Misfit Patriot, and who's a big fan of Israel out there, guys. Misfit Patriot loves them Israelis, loves them over in the chosen land. He is a resident of the state of Texas. And he's over the age of 18. There's another guy, Lucy Marion Brown, not a resident of the state of Florida, over the age of 18. And it says a majority of the defendants appear to the public anonymously through various social media accounts, which is premeditated. No, that's just social media. In an attempt to shield their liability and avoid the consequences of their conspiratorial plot to defame and harm the plaintiffs. No, literally, that's just what people do. That's just what people do. It's just, there's no point. Like, everything on the internet's anonymous. It's all anonymous. Like, that's the thing here. They also say yes on what social media, and that's a big problem here. That is the problem with this. They don't draft that, but they'll discuss it later, but why don't they do it now? You want to do it now so the people know. So that, remember, guys, they're talking about the jurisdiction and venue. The jurisdiction for this, it exceeds $50,000. They say the court has personal jurisdiction over the defendants. I don't know if you have personal jurisdiction over a guy in the United Kingdom. There are times where, like, Sargon, Akilah Hughes, and Sargon was sued in federal court, like that whole thing. Like, Hughes v. Benjamin, that worked. But like, you got to come from overseas. You got to coming like in perfecting service on a guy. It doesn't work that way. I don't know how you're going to get that. They say the venue is appropriate in this court because all the events here and occur in Palm Beach County, Florida, and within the state of Florida. And guys, and here's the thing, just so you get this, remember, we're dealing with a Florida state court, and that was my point here. Aquila went to the Southern District of New York. This is just fucking, Hee-Hawville court in Florida. It's like going down to the county seat in Ohio here and going and filing something. How do I have jurisdiction over a guy in Britain? I don't think this works. I don't know how you're going to get that. Because there's treaty concerns, but I don't know if that counts for state court action. Who knows? They point out there's other things here, the false statements that were directed into the state of Florida. Regarding a case filed by the plaintiffs in Palm Beach County, as well as cases in Romania and England, the conspirators call themselves Team Matrix, which I'm like, I can't imagine, you're like, come on now. So the defamatory statements made by the defendants were accessed within the state of Florida. Okay. But you can access them wherever. That's not the way you do this. Because claiming the internet gives you jurisdiction everywhere, it doesn't work that way. One or more of the defendants is physically located in Florida. That's correct. And under Florida's long-arm statute, jurisdiction is proper based on a conspiracy between the defendants, as well as the defamatory postings that were accessed within the state of Florida and directed to the state of Florida. Now, guys, remember, when we talk about the long-arm statute, the long-arm statutes are, do you have the minimal contacts and the necessary involvement in this state to be brought here? Do you conduct business? Do you have a residence? Do you avail yourself to protection of the laws of the state? You have to have some way for the long-arm statute to attach to you. I don't know how a guy in Britain does, but, well, that'll be interesting. So they say all defendants had direct knowledge of the pending litigation and directly and publicly spoke about the case, including making statements, defamatory statements about the plaintiffs and their legal counsel in the Florida case. Who cares if they defame legal counsel? That's what you fucking do. So the statement of facts, the Tate brothers, Andrew, 37, and Tristan, 35, are British-American brothers who are entrepreneurs, major social media influencers, and international businessmen that have resided in Romania for approximately 10 years. Their international presence can be attributed to their values and life experiences. Okay. They frequently are on the move from a young age, living in both the United States and the UK. Andrew Tate is a world champion kickboxer. I mean, he did like drop some dudes, but like I think like the dudes he slept weren't that good. But either way, he still went in the ring and slept a couple of guys. I said slept a couple, not slept with a couple. Difference there, chat. Social media influencer, investor, international businessman, and most importantly, a father. Tristan Tate is a European champion kickboxer, social media influencer, investor, international businessman, and most importantly, a father. Aww. Aw, chat. He's a daddy. All right. So alongside their distinctive personal business identities, the Tate brothers also share a collective business identity that includes both Andrew and Tristan. They combine to make the Tate brothers. They consult, advise, and generate income from various business ventures and revenues estimated in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Bullshit. They're making money scamming, but they ain't making that much money. They are respected thought leaders, business moguls, and motivational speakers in multiple industries. Yes, there's so much motivation in banging Megan Fox with a dick. Highly successful businessmen, investors, and individuals seeking upward mobility and financial independence invest in the Tate brothers as they provide access to extensive international investment, business, and influencer markets. The capacity to work, provide advice, generate income, influence markets, secure new business, maintain and develop relationships hinges on the reputation and ability to bank, travel, and actively participate in the international marketplace. Their use of social media and travel is a distinguishing factor in their success. Well, yes, they're used to social media, yes, and then they just take pictures of themselves renting airplanes all the time. Unfortunately, their following, previously amassed across Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, was wiped out due to the spurious false accusations underpinning the allegations in this complaint. Yes, complaints from the globalists. The globalists did this, chat. The globalists took down the top G, chat. The globalist. The Tate brothers are wise investors who have increased their wealth through access to exclusive opportunities, which directly related to their reputation as respected, influential businessmen among a community of elite investors. Oh, I'm sure. I am so sure. I am so sure. They previously owned many assets, including dozens of high-end luxury vehicles. They previously owned this. And they had a bunch of stuff seized for being wrongfully accused of crimes they did not commit. Okay, well, like citation needed there. However, seemingly unrelated, the common philosophy uniting all the Tate brothers' businesses is a goal towards self-improvement in every aspect of life. Okay. The Tate brothers in Romania. Yes. Here we go. This is where it gets good, chat. This is rich. Compared to Western Europe, United States, Romania. Yes, Romania, chat. And for those of you out there who may not have the best America, you're for those of you out there who look at this and you don't understand the geography none too well, Romania, right here. This is Romania. This is Romania right here. Home to Nicolae Ceausescu, the former communist dictator who got shot with AK-47s on national TV. It's pretty metal if you ever get the chance. You could Google it on YouTube. It's pretty fucking epic. Anyways, that's Romania, right next to the shithole known as Moldova, and bordering on two sides the crap hole known as Ukraine. So it's there, chat. It's a place to go. But anyways, compared to Western Europe and the United States, Romania has long been known to be a traditional country with a rich cultural history, traditions, and it's got a pretty rich history of things. Dracula, like the real life Dracula, and all the wars and everything. Yeah, it's pretty epic. Christian values, and those comply with the Tate brothers' convictions and worldview. Except Andrew Tate has converted to Islam, so it's not very Christian anymore. So, how does that work, Mr. Lawyer Man? Did you do any due diligence on your clients? Like, they aren't really Christian anymore. They aren't really Christian anymore. So, just saying. Yes, Marlene's like, yes, that was in Europe. Should you not happen to recognize it? Yes, I understand. That's where all the wieners live. So they say because of this, beginning about 2015, the Tates became full-time residents of Romania. They first garnered press attention in 2008. Before becoming celebrities, they separately distinguished themselves in successful careers as professional kickboxers. A. Tate won multiple world titles, and T. Tate won numerous European championships. I'm sorry, the bullshit was getting a little rough in here, chat. We'll have to navigate this. I might need an EpiPen. Subsequently, Tristan Tate became a sports commentator and appeared on a reality TV show called Shipwrecked Island in 2011 and 2016. In 2016, Andrew Tate appeared on a different reality TV show called Big Brother. Yes, their prominence increased significantly due to viral internet clips from the summer of 2022. And it's true, Tate just talking all kinds of shit. Not being a brokey was a big one. Not being a brokey. Don't be a brokey, chat. Don't be a brokey. Their celebrity, however, is limited in geography and audience, primarily to young, traditional-leaning men. The Tates began to be involved in early businesses. Kickboxing, reality TV, modeling, sports commentating are some industries that have progressed. Since then, the Tates have given friendly advice how to succeed aspiring fighters, models, and social media influencers. Advice given in these situations is always in the spirit of helping someone better their lives, absent judgment or condemnation. Always considering the sacrifices the brothers made to achieve success. Yeah, that's exactly. Yes. So where do you see the upliftingness in Megan Fox with a penis. I'm still not sure, but okay. Or 15-year-old girls. Not sure. I'm not too sure on that one. The Tate brothers are compassionate and empathetic people, especially to those who are less fortunate than them. Except they talk about the brokies all the time. Their generosity is evidenced by the fact they regularly let their friends use their luxuries, often permitting them to freely enter and exit their multi-million-dollar homes. So they have a bunch of bum friends. Use their luxury vehicles, attend elegant gatherings, and lodge at the Romanian estate, even when the brothers were abroad. Ultimately, their altruism has made them targets for extortion by bad faith actors. Due to their wealth, notoriety, and perceived vulnerability to wrongdoers, the Tate brothers employ around 24 armed guards, mainly former Romanian police who are fully licensed to carry firearms for protection of their estate. And because of security protocols and turnover, the guards do not directly interact with the Tate brothers. Communications between the Tate brothers and the guards are managed through a single point of contact who directs security to verify visitors' identities and open the gate for anyone exiting the property. Okay. Now, chat, this is going to directly combat what we're talking. We just heard of it here. All guests who enter the Tate estate can freely and quickly leave at any time. Surveillance footage and witnesses who regularly frequent the estate corroborate that. Oh, so there, you don't make the girls not leave. Okay. Let's see where this goes. Mary and Jane Doe, the court assigned pseudonyms, in an abundance of caution, from Tate et al. Versus John Doe et al., are two women who were invited to become regular visitors at the estate, then maliciously accused the brothers of crimes. Okay. Now, moving on, they say that Mary and Jane's stories are false and are contradicted by strong evidence and witness accounts. For instance, publicly available footage from the Tate estate shows Mary, Joe, and Jane Doe freely entering and leaving the premises at their leisure. At their leisure, chat. All right. Moreover, Yasmina Penkoff, a woman who hung out, partied with, and lodged with Mary and Jane Doe during that time, lodged with them. Does that mean when they were part of his little, online honey cabal? I don't know. They were all able to enter and exit the residence without issue. Penkoff also stated they could do the same at the second house where she and Jane Doe lodged briefly. Oh, the cam girl stable. Is that what we're calling it? The second house. That's interesting. Yes. They have an entourage of brokies with them. They quit being brokies, but they look at their bros like, I don't mean you. So anyways, Penkoff and others have publicly testified that Andrew and his brother are innocent of human trafficking or any other crime. Penkoff also has indicated she has a background in psychology and therefore would understand if she's being psychologically manipulated. Yeah, that's how that works. Really, that makes no sense at all. Danielle, you're right. It's the hoe house. Further, Penkoff has sworn she is a victim of Mary and Jane and that the Romanian government capriciously violated her rights and the Tate brothers' rights. She's filed a lawsuit against Jane and Mary Doe for the harm they have perpetrated on her. And they say, lastly, another woman living with Penkoff named Beatrice Angel has indicated in a sworn statement she's also a victim of Mary Jane, and the improper weaponization of the Romanian government in much the same fashion. So now we get to the parts, chat. The conspiratorial plot to defame. Let's see here. How does this go? We need the trailer voice. I need the guy who does the trailer voice. In a world where men can fuck trannies with dicks as long as they're hot, stood one man seeking to bring peace and prosperity to the world. His name is Andrew Tate. So here we go. So on April 13th, 2024, these players hosted a space, and that's on Twitter, guys. If you go on the Twitter, you can go into Twitter Spaces, and you could basically like broadcast to people, and people could tune in. It's a thing that works. It's actually very valid. So it's a thing that works out there. David, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Guys, MLS over here on YouTube. Give them a shout out. They say where several co-conspirators discuss the depths of their ongoing conspiracy to intentionally, recklessly, and maliciously defame the Tate brothers. You should, like, why is there no, like, footnote saying we have that recorded? Because those are recorded. They're out there. In April 2024, several contributors admitted to having formed a group to maliciously defame the brothers. The group primarily includes the defendants in this case, who they refer to as Team Matrix. Now, why do they refer to the Matrix? The Matrix is being done because Andrew Tate views like the government and the system that's out there against you as the Matrix. And you have to be like Neo. You have to like break through the Matrix and like save yourself. And like once you can break through the Matrix and you're like a rich guy and you can afford whatever you want, you've broken through the Matrix, you're no longer beholden. Just like everybody in the Matrix, you're a slave to the system. Well, if you transcend, you know, like he wants you to transcend to fucking trannies with dicks, hot trannies with dicks. You will then become enlightened and you will break free of this, like Jesus ascending into the heavens. I think. I don't really know. I'm kind of thinking that. So, the Matrix is a fancy word for mother. It's extremely Freudian. Yes. Well, yes. When you watch the Matrix, there's this whole thing about how it's all you know, it's all basically wombs that they're dealing with in the movie. So there we go. God, my eyes are starting to hurt. I'm gonna turn on the brightness just to hear. That'll help me a little bit here. So here we go. Here we go for the rest of this. So one of the members of the players can be quoted as saying, "We formed Team Matrix in 2023. During the April 24th space, it was said that Matthew Jury, an attorney and partner at McHugh Jury and Partners in the United Kingdom, directly emailed and communicated with them, apparently providing them informal guidance and support for the social media campaign." Okay. The informal guidance and support involves communicating with Team Matrix members in Florida. Okay. So what? Thus, Mr. Jury has directly transmitted defamatory information into the state of Florida. This is a conclusory statement, and it's a conclusory. What did he say? What did he say? Because right now you just have informal guidance. You have informal guidance and support. What's informal guidance and support mean? Informal guidance and support. What does that mean, chat? What does it mean? What does it mean? I don't know what that means. I just don't know what that means. Like, what is informal guidance support? Because it's not he gave them marching orders or intentionally false information. It's just a marching order. Like, it's a guidance. So, yeah, he has directly transmitted defamatory information. Well, what did he say? Because you should know. Because they know when the space was. Why can't they find it? Why won't they say? No, I get it. You don't have to say explicitly. But remember, chat, if you can introduce information, that does help make your case a little stronger here. So, you got to be smart about this. So, that means he committed a tortious act within the state of Florida, and the communication is not within the scope of any attorney-client privilege or other privilege. And that's true. There's no attorney-client privilege there. And they say more that somebody, a member of Team Matrix, just me, indicated that she was in direct private contact with Matthew Jury. Jury has also appeared on the Twitter spaces with prominent members of Team Matrix. In a recent interview, Jury stated they're incredibly important, but there's this tiny group, they call themselves Team Matrix. But quite often, I'll get little tips from them. What's going on? So Jury is also currently involved in a crowdfunding campaign to fund additional allegations against plaintiffs, containing what appear to be false allegations of sex assault. and sex abuse. They say these claims appear to be several years old and well past the statute of limitations. Not that they're false. Notice that. Notice that part here, and I wanted to say this for you guys. Notice, this is the problem. They're not saying these are clearly false right there. They're saying they all appear to be 7 years old and well past statute of limitations. I understand up here they're saying that they say what appear to be false allegations. No, you need to say they're false allegations. You need to say this is bullshit. You need to say this is clearly bullshit. These are clearly manipulative. These are clearly dog shit. Come on now. So that these other things that are put together. They say jury admits the direct contact from the members in the same interview. He accused the Tates of gaslighting because they're denying they are guilty of any crime and there are no victims. He then indicates behavior is traumatizing to the victim. This statement affirmatively vindicates there are in fact victims and crimes committed by the plaintiffs, which is a defamatory statement. I think that's a good inferential defamation point there. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't well worded. That wasn't well worded here, I think. They say members of Team Matrix often share the crowdfunding link, a debate and attempt to fund their defamatory social media carnival and false claims against Tate brothers in the United States, Romania, and United Kingdom, Romania, and the United States. They say members of Team Matrix, especially Lucy Brown, just me and Murdered by Crayons, regularly ask people to donate to the crowdfunding links. Okay. Are they getting a cut of the action? On February 10th, 2025, Lucy Brown posted a web domain, AndrewTateIsARapist.com. Yes. Yes, and I forgot to check this earlier, but let's go there. Andrew Tate is a rapist.com. So, Andrew Tate is a rapist.com. Well, it's not working. Oh, there we go. Here it is, chat. We've got it. Andrew Tate is a rapperist. And this is once again, though, what they're doing and how they're operating here. I think this creates a problem for him because when you read the information here, and oh my God, why won't it load? This is just being tardo. I'll show you this page here, chat. So Andrew Tate is a rapist. .com says, bringing Andrew Tate to justice in the UK. Okay, so what? So now we're talking about stuff in okay, well, there you go. That's how shitty their webpage is. It crashed. The Matrix brought it down. Moving back to this, though. Andrew Tate and Rapist.com, it says, we are the UK survivors of Andrew Tate. We are British victims of alleged rape and serious sexual and physical assaults by the social media influencer Andrew Tate. So they're campaigning for something that's outside of America where you're being defamed in another country. Why aren't you going after that attorney in Britain? Huh. That's a little weird. So when the link is clicked, it takes the user to Matthew Jury's and his law firm's crowdfunding page that they use to pay for litigation. Jury has not collected this link to the crowdfund, even though he interacts with these accounts regularly. The crowdfund is replete with defamatory allegations, such as this statement. That Andrew Tate's on bail and allowed to travel freely within Romania. It would be easy for him to smuggle himself across the border. Indeed, several high-profile suspects have fled Romania this way before they can be convicted. There is evidence that Tate plans to flee Romania before his trial starts. I'm betting you he would. Remember, chat, his case has been put on hold because the charges are completely just have fallen apart. The way they've been pled. That doesn't mean they've been dismissed, but apparently the case has a lot of, structural problems. So, and you guys can get it to load. That's good because I can't get it to load. It's a little annoying that I can't. So, Should he flee, it's feared his influence will only grow, and he may go on to commit further crimes against women and others. So, in October 2024, Mr. Jury, I love that having a name like that as an attorney, Mr. Jury, is so cool. Maliciously and recklessly posted more defamatory information all over social media, which indicated Andrew Tate beat a woman with a belt in the video, and he was kicked off UK Big Brother. Well, he did. Well, it wasn't beating a woman with a belt. It was allegedly a 15-year-old girl. That's the thing here. Allegedly, it's a 15-year-old girl. It's not clear. So, however, Tate and the woman are both publicly in a video circulated all over social media, one of which Mr. Jury has complete knowledge of, said they were acting and playing around, categorically denying there was an assault or a beating involved. Yeah, I don't know about that. When they say, however, Mr. Jury ignores these facts are harmful and don't support his case. When they say his cause appears to already be providing himself and his law firm with increased publicity income and a larger windfall from the allegedly false civil allegations levied by his clients against Andrew Tate. Thus, Mr. Jury and his conspirators have further motivation to continue defaming. Okay, well, I'm glad you brought up Jury, but let's get to the rest of the people here involved. So they talk about more. They say, just like everybody else, Jury is exploiting the false allegations for financial gain and notoriety. One of his latest attempts to harm the Tate brothers and now their legal team includes accusing one of the Tate attorneys of professional misconduct by making a frivolous and desperate bar complaint. Please include. Why is that not included as an exhibit? Come on now. Give us exhibits. Give me the exhibits. So, this frivolous bar complaint was sanctioned by his entire law firm, which is evidenced by the email receipt from the Bar Association copying additional associates of the firm. The complaint is not only frivolous, but likely defamatory. The complaint goes past opinions and requests for an investigation. Okay, but that doesn't mean shit. People demand all kinds of stuff that get filtered out with attorney grievances. So, they go on to say that the attorneys have been accused of appearing to have fabricated text messages. They say this is categorically a falsehood and better suited for Mr. Jury's fantasy world, where victims are allowed to fabricate evidence in crimes against a person and have no repercussions. Repercussions such as a lawsuit filed against them, here to attach as Exhibit M, which he calls witness intimidation. Yeah. Yes. Yes, here you go. Here you go. Oh, Bama says you were over listening to Tim Pool. Well, that's interesting. So, Jury made the bar complaint, even though multiple Florida courts have already ruled that the Tate attorneys had the right to publicly speak about the case and defend their client's reputation in the courts of public opinion. They say in the United States, it's well within an attorney's right to defend a client's reputation, especially after Team Matrix and Mr. Jury's smear campaign. Now, they talk about case here in the seminal decision, Gentile versus State Bar of Nevada. The United States Supreme Court held an attorney's duties do not begin inside the courtroom door. He or she cannot ignore the practical implications of a legal proceeding for the client. Just as an attorney may recommend a plea bargain or civil settlement to avoid the adverse consequences of a possible loss after trial, so too an attorney may take reasonable steps to defend reputation, especially in the face of a prosecution deemed unjust or commenced with improper motives. Yes, and that's pointing out the attorneys have the right to defend their client publicly. Now, they say Mr. Jury disagrees with the facts presented in the U.S., Romanian, and UK cases, and he filed a bar complaint that contradicted Florida court rulings and long-established law. Okay, well, are you going to sue everybody who fucking grieves you that's wrong? Like, come on now, pussies. But remember, why is this here? This isn't relevant because you're not suing. It's Andrew and Tristan. Tough fucking shit. Under Mr. Jury's approach, an assault on freedom of speech, any attorney who publicly disagrees with or contradicts his theory of each case is guilty of attorney misconduct. Well, yeah, you're dealing with lolcows. They say he simply weaponized the justice system to silence the truth from being told publicly. Yes, that's it. It's the Matrix. It's the Matrix, chat. And they say, however, over several months, Jury has been directly contacting one of the plaintiffs on social media, which appears to be in contravention of the Solicitors Regulation Authority, the SRA standards and regulations. This is where I wish I could talk to Black Belt Barrister. Shad, I think is his name. I've only talked to him once or twice during the Johnny Depp stuff. I'd love to hear him explain this because at this point, he's not soliciting him as an attorney. So I don't know. I don't know what the point of this is because he's allowed to contact people. He regularly tags Andrew Tate in harassing postings on Twitter. This type of cyber stalking often includes false statements, hateful speech, and abusive statements meant to be read by a representing client. Aww. Okay. Thus, Mr. Jury is directed to contact a client he knows is represented in at least 3 countries by way of social media. They claim he's doing this to pressure a lucrative settlement on behalf of his clients, levying what appears to be false claims against Andrew Tate. The Crown Prosecution Service, and that's the prosecuting wing of the British government chat. So, for example, Commonwealth's attorneys, states attorneys, county prosecutors, they're the ones in charge of prosecuting. If you guys ever watch Law and Order UK, that's who it is there. It's the Crown Prosecution Service. So they wear their robes and they wear their wigs. Yes. They previously declined to prosecute the Tate brothers' allegations. They say, in addition to making the bar complaints, he works closely with the National Center on Sexual Exploitation. And yes, and it's if you work there, do you have to so do you want to work here, sir? Oh, yes, I'm very excited about sexual exploitation. In fact, I'm really good at it. I practiced for many years. And they work with other U.S.-based attorneys. Now, they're not saying they work with U.S.-based attorneys. They're saying attorneys based in the United States. Yes, there's an entire UK version of the show. Yes, exactly. Brandon says, yeah, voice was better during the White Claw than the current 5-footer wake and bake. What? Is everything sound okay? Is there something wrong, chat? Does it sound okay? Because I don't know what I can't tell what's going on with my fucking... I don't know if something's not sounding right. If it sounds bad, tell me. But my nose is killing me tonight, so... So they say representatives from the firms even traveled and held a joint press conference in Romania. Ooh, scary. The press conference was a malicious attempt to influence the Romanian prosecution. Notice they're talking about stuff that happened outside of Florida. Who cares? Jury gives himself the right to go on a world tour. Okay, not in Florida. Who cares? They're trying to manipulate the proceedings in Romania. Okay. And the civil proceedings in Florida. However, jury hypocritically made a bar complaint against the attorney defending against a very defamation he recklessly continues to spew all over social media. This is are we getting to the point here? What's the point? Get to it, chat. Let's get to this. Team Matrix often share the joint press conferences from Romania. Has regularly promoted crowdfunding for Matthew Jury and his law firm. Yeah, you've already mentioned this 5 times. In support of Team Matrix, Jury had a public smear campaign against the plaintiffs and the attorneys from NCOSE, and attorney Julian Roth have made several contradictory and false statements. For example, when they went over there, Julian Roth made a statement. He says, as far as our case, radio, mate. Our representatives as of today include a woman residing in the United Kingdom and an American citizen, and they are victims. And I won't say alleged because the federal judge of the United States, in her opinion herself, upon review of the evidence submitted, called the women victims. Well, that's not how that works. I'm not. Yeah, no. That's not how you do that. That's not how you do that, homie. That's not how you do that. That's not how you do that. So the statement was categorically a falsehood. In reality, the federal judge clearly referred to the false accusers as alleged victims in the order, which apparently was ignored. They said during the same conference, Miss Roth then maliciously threatened anyone that came to the aid of the plaintiffs or provide a speedy defense or remedy. I'm thinking she means came to the aid of the defendants. She doubled down and indicated that the persons holding the press conference would seek to hold attorneys accountable for providing attempts to the Tate brothers. Yeah, well, they say that shit all the time. And, you know, just like a regular person, any attorney who's got a problem with somebody defending another person has the mind of a fucking 12-year-old. And you should laugh at them as so and mock them for acting like a fucking 12-year-old. So. They go on to say, though, as for base of making this threat, Roth indicated the plaintiff's lawsuit has no basis in law, none whatsoever. I think she means the defendant's lawsuit, but once again, we're, whatever. However, if there was a scienter of truth, meaning just the littlest bit of truth to the prior statement, the several motions to dismiss the plaintiff's case would not have been overcome. I think she means the defendants. The only reason Ms. Roth's client, Mary Doe, was able to avoid responsibility in the lawsuit was due to jurisdictional issues, not the substance of the allegations. Well, that doesn't mean anything. That just means she won on a jurisdictional ground. That doesn't mean she wouldn't have won on a factual basis. So that's a very, that's a bit of a concern there. I don't think you should say it like that. So, they go on to say, we represent Mary and Jane and other individuals in the American courts. And they say they encourage you to read the federal opinion from the United States, where a judge ordered that the women and other named parties in the lawsuit are not to be called by their real names. Okay, yeah, that's an order to proceed anonymously under pseudonyms. And it says, and I emphasize to everyone in this room, because if you publish the names of our clients in any way, you are violating a court's order. Fuck off. Fuck off. That is so gay. So this is the disingenuous interpretation of the order. Okay, once again, why does this matter? Why are we here? Let's go. Come on. Okay, come on. Like, this is not helpful to us. United States District Court Judge, that's not true. 106 is that's not true. 107 says, however, that's not Roth, jury, and Team Matrix from repeating the same reckless lies, despite plaintiffs publicly presenting facts to the contrary, and the same Florida court indicating in an order that it is not the proposition for which the original order stood. They're saying no defendant, nor NCOSE, nor jury took the time to retract such reckless statements, accusing the Tate brothers of having victims. Conversely, Matrix shared the false statements all over social media and continue to do so in an extensive and obsessive manner. They refused to make any corrections despite producing text messages showing the victims instructing a third party to fabricate evidence, and after having discussed a plan to deceive the plaintiffs into purchasing them a house in Romania. Yeah, because those can't be fabricated too. They say to the contrary, they've doubled down and accused the undersigned and other attorneys of fabricating the text messages, even alluding that this is an utterly preposterous and desperate proposition. Is it really? Is it really that? Is that really that preposterous? Yeah, this is fucking bouncing around. This is so, like, let's get to the statements, because we haven't gotten to defamatory statements yet. And look how this just fucking, this is such garbage. It just aimlessly wanders around at this point, chat. And we're gonna have to skip ahead here, because this is like, let's get to the sex. Like, come on, let's get to it. You guys promised me some like fucking, so let's fuck. Yeah, I mean, like, look how far we have to go. More defamatory postings. We have to skip ahead like 10 pages before we get to like forcing women to have your sons is called rape. Well, there we go. That's, we got a ways to go, chat. And it's like, God damn, you guys, fucking hurry here. They're just jerking around. This is such cringe. This lawsuit just drags on and on and on here. And we're going to skip ahead. Because there's, like, this is all a backstory here. It's all a backstory that doesn't help. So like it just keeps going here. This just keeps going. This just, like, let's get to the defamation. Where's the conspiracy here? These are premeditated acts. Okay, where do we get the conspiracy? Where do we get the defamation? This is, and look at this. This is all like fucking caps. This is sovereign citizen crazy. Just look at this. Miss Pinter recently, like that's what this guy's screaming. Look at that. Just re just reading his way through it. So this is just absolutely, yeah, this is just nonsense. And and I apologize, guys, I didn't get this far yet. But like we need to get to the defamatory statements because this conspiracy is really gay. It's really gay. So now this is where we get to we're trying to weave some politics into this. So Eleanor Gitton is the vice president for NCOSE. She's made many defamatory statements. Okay, like what? Anyways, according to her webpage at NCOSE, Eleanor first met the human trafficking issue in Bucharest, Romania, the capital of Romania, as USAID's local democracy advisor from 2000 to 2003. As much as I hate USAID, why are we weaving this in there? Because you want to get my attention. Still, counsel for the plaintiff uncovered a $750,000 payment by USAID with my tax dollars, with a country code for ROU that was listed as strengthening proactive criminal justice response. Okay, well, there we go. They want Donald and Doge to save them. And they say, upon information and belief, the USAID funds were used to fund lawfare and prop up a deficient prosecution. Under an indictment, the Romanian court has since returned to the prosecutor due to the deficient nature of the allegations and violations of rights of the plaintiffs. Well, that's why they were allowed to leave and they were allowed to freely travel. But they weren't saying that it was, completely getting tossed. Sorry, chat, the bullshit here. I mean, like, oh, it's USAID. Elon. Daddy Elon, notice. So they keep going here. They keep talking about all the other issues here. They've reposted the content of Murdered by Crayons. They talk about that. That's how you're propagating the defamation. More things from Murdered by Crayons. They talk about the statement is that they accuse the Tate brothers of another crime, which is patently untrue, as the plaintiffs have only availed themselves of legal remedies under the law. So it's so unfair. They also tweeted out to the New York Times, the Tate brothers trafficked her. It wasn't sex work. And that's a term invented by the pimps at NCOSE. Yes. And she goes on further to state, my organization represents Tate victims. I've read depositions. He tortured young women. Many have not recovered. Do not normalize, restore, or uplift him. Now we're getting some defamation, chat. Now we're getting the defamation. And they say, however, no depositions have been taken in Florida, with the exception of an ex-boyfriend of Jane Doe that she likely defrauded, nor the substantive equivalent in the first Romanian case involving the plaintiffs. And they say, in addition, the Romanian judges also opined there's not even a reasonable suspicion for a great majority of the alleged crimes. Yes, but it's not a ruling. So the team matrix circulates most, if not all, the defamatory comments, regardless of exculpatory evidence publicly available. And they finally get to this April 13th, 2024 space. It took them 168 paragraphs, chat, and 29 pages. That's how long they've been dicking around here, guys. So the people that were there: Players, Murdered by Crayon, Suzanne Winter, Just Me, Sharon 36, Milk Bar, Pax Wax, and Skeptic. And they say during the space, Just Me says, we have to focus on Andrew Tate. We have to cut the head off the snake. In the same space, Players alleges that Susie Winter is working very hard against the Tate brothers. Okay, so working very hard is not... What does that mean? What does that mean? In addition, Players gave a specific shout-out to Milk Bar and Murdered by Crayons for their work relating to Team Matrix. Specifically, what work? Why is there no thing here to tell us? And they say that we can help each other. I don't understand why you want us to stop gaining momentum. We were gaining momentum. Hey, man, these spaces and Crayon's hard work has got him over 10,000 followers. And then Just Me also said, and I noticed there was a Crayon Murders was here. Milk Bar is here. Pax Wax is here. Other very prominent people are here. So, and they say that regarding Suzanne Winter, they say, does she sound like a 20 to 25-year-old girl? It's like, no. No. And they say, this is what they're trying to purport, that are two of the Romanian victims posing against the Tates. You've heard her talk. She does not sound like one of the victims. Obviously, she's not one of these people. She's just posting against the Tates. So why the fuck would McBride or the Tates think Suzanne is at least in any way attached? Except maybe through a third party giving them information, telling them who Suzanne is in this other account, or for them to put in the lawsuit. This is why we refuse to be infiltrated, guys. This is why we need to talk sooner, because we maybe could have saved Suzanne from sharing her personal information with that person. Ooh, we're getting there. So, yes, this is just... So, as they indicate, the attorneys were given the real identities of Susan Winters and Avalon to include in the lawsuit, which belonged to Jane Doe and Mary Doe, because they disclosed their real identities to a third party. They say, upon belief, Suzanne Winters, upon information belief, is Jane Doe, who has levied false claims. Okay, so you got one of them. They say Mary and Jane Doe have given declarations attesting they are not the owner of such accounts. Okay. These accounts were deleted and renamed shortly after the allegations in Exhibit M. Okay. They say Jane Doe has already submitted a completely false narrative against another man in a sworn court document filed in Florida. Thus, she has no reservation to walk into court and lie. We'll see. We'll see. So they talk about moving on to Susan Winters, a very active member in Team Matrix. And she stated, I'm just a small cog in the wheel. Crabman set the bar. Crayons, Milk TV, Gadget Avalon do their bit also. And then on or about January 5th, she made a posting that listed many members of Team Matrix. Well, this is the dumb shit here. You're giving them excuses to document you. Whether or not you're doing things wrong or not, it's just retarded. Remember, guys, don't take notes on anything you're doing. It makes it even easier for somebody to fuck with you. They talk about Murdered by Crayons turning people against the Tates. They say the accounts utilized by the defendants often meet online in spaces and post and retweet each other's postings. Okay, that's fine. Like, you're allowed to do that. You retweet each other's shit. Yeah, that's how it works. These counts utilized by the defendants are acutely aware of the pending lawsuits in Tate versus Jane Doe et al., Fisher v. Gabby et al., and Penkoff versus Gabby et al. And the allegations, exculpatory text messages, and supporting documentation within the lawsuits. I mean, do they know? I don't know if they know. And they say with knowledge of the facts, the defendants, with knowledge of the facts supporting the allegations, the defendants ignore the facts and continue to intentionally and recklessly accuse the Tates of heinous crimes. Yes, including rape, human trafficking, and STDs. Ooh, rough. So they talk about the, apparently Murdered by Crayon says, I've got the Romanian indictment. I meant to say the only people permitted to be possession of that are the victims, the accused, and their counsel. Okay, well, maybe he got it somewhere. If he lied about it, did he put it up? mean, why are we? Once again, why are we crying about this? That's not a. I've got a document. I don't have the document. So, if you're trying to show murder by crayons is lying, this is for later. This is like 15 pages too long already. They could have cut shit out here because this is just dragging. So as we move on here, let's get to the actual statements here. So they claim the Tate brothers are liars. Oh no! They're liars. So they talk about in February 2025, the Tate brothers received significantly reduced travel restrictions, getting back their passports and being given the ability to travel worldwide. Yes. So when they came back to Florida. So we finally get to more defamatory statements made in spaces and other videos and audios. This is actually like now we're to stuff. So these defamatory statements were proffered by the defendants in combination of social media postings on videos and Twitter spaces that are directly referencing them. All right, so here we go. So these were made, they took place between July 12th, 2023 and the filing of this lawsuit. Okay. So Suzanne Winter says, when Tate said he loves hitting women, he's not joking. Imagine the pain of finding out your daughters aren't in college but were trafficked. The Tates made a point of isolating victims from their support systems. Imagine having to hide from your abuser in a bathroom. Probably another girl too scared and brainwashed to come forward. Nothing surprises me anymore regarding top groomer. How many women have had their lives ruined from the Tate's PhD course? Okay. The main source of income these men relied upon was pimping out partners and swapping ideas on how to lure fresh prey. I guarantee you war room members, and that's part of like you pay for the inner circle, it's the war room, with Hustlers University. A career out of the ruination of females. Like, that one's not really, like, some of these are kind of like, meh. They say Tate's underage parties. Yeah, one tactic used by the Tates was holding parties, inviting girls of all ages, messaging minors on Instagram. Well, I mean, you know, he's already talked about 15-year-old girls before. It happens. Now it gets even better because down here they talk about the Tates lied about the Florida case. Myron from Fresh and Fit, that's who they're talking about, hosted a space repeating the lies and he ran away from crayons like a coward. Yeah, Myron from Fresh and Fit is a big sweeper for the Tates. He's like a street sweeper. So, yeah. Yeah, that's actually a thing there. That's a thing there. So, they said, I risked my account once to prove that the account of sex trafficker Andrew Tate is protected by X. Yes. They claim that one of the war room members was hired by Ghislaine Maxwell for $25,000 on a smear campaign. Whew. Tristan Tate isn't spouting more lies. Grooming minors isn't a secret. Andrew Tate, the world's most Googled rapist. You're like, oh. Andrew Tate is a cult leader. Yeah, well, that's really not bad there. You know, some of the properties used to hold victims of the Tates. Yeah, well. So they say all these comments were made in a video space or posting dedicated to Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. So yeah, those are, yeah. Now I talk about murder by crayons here. So what did murder by crayons say? So they go through this, and I mean, these are fucking like ridiculous answers here. So they're claiming these are transcribed, I think. But we'll see. We'll see here. So it says they didn't find out about this, and that means the women finding out about Andrew's cam girl stuff until they got to Romania. They were put in the sex worker house, and they were starting to get pressured into doing various types of sex work and taking explicit pictures, explicit photos. You know, they go on to talk about, like, they recruit these women and deceive them. They did this for the purpose of sexual exploitation. They say, in this case, it is commercial sex work. You know, so there's recruitment. You have deception, and then you have sexual exploitation. And they said there's other parts involved, and there's also coercion. There's fraud. So, yeah, it's bad. So they say of the victims, one of them is an American victim and one of them is the victim from Moldova. Those were the two who were rescued by DICOT. That's the counterterrorism police, the counter corruption police during the April raid. It's their investigative agency. Alias Unknown says, "Is this pre-recorded?" No. This actually, you're right. It is pre-recorded. Sorry. This is from April 23rd, 1989. So keep in mind there how we're doing this. So they keep on saying Andrew Tate is guilty, changed my mind. Well, that's not really a defamatory statement. The topic of the space is Andrew Tate is guilty, changed my mind. Yeah, that's still Andrew Tate is a compulsive liar, prove me wrong. Okay. They say Andrew Tate, the real world is a pyramid scheme. Yes, that's true. Exposing the lies in Andrew Tate's case, new victim info. Okay, well, that's still not a problem. This one is, though, the criminal activities of the defendants are a form of slavery. Yeah, these are, now you're accusing them of a crime. So there you go. Oh my God, this is killing me. My nose is killing me. So they say the Murder by Cranes account has over 44,000 posts defaming plaintiffs. So he has over 44,000 times he's defamed the plaintiffs, or he has 44,000 posts. Because one of those is very misleading. And I don't think that's fair the way they just put that up there. But like, what is Murder by Crayons? Hold on. Crayon murder. Okay, how many posts? Okay, so it says he's got 60,000 posts. Okay. And they talk about the pinned comment. Well, it's only got 75,000 views. So yeah, he doesn't have where's this 28 million? I don't see it. Chat. All right. So they talk about Avalon. Now, Avalon says true transcripts show the victims were frightened and had realized they're being trafficked and had to plot their escape. I mean, yeah, these are a lot of things out here. Tate's now trying to reinvent himself, claiming he's against devil worshippers. Yet he's a webcam pimp and a human trafficker. Well, being a webcam pimp is not defamatory. I mean, that's not it is what it is. The sexually violent Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's Moldovan accuser is also autistic. 2 autistic victims. Well, you'd have to be pretty retarded to have sex with Andrew Tate and be charmed by him. I'm just saying. And it says they hunted vulnerable females to exploit. It's like, well, Jesus. They have Milk Bar. It says proof Andrew Tate's a human trafficker. Andrew Tate's a groomer. They have proof he trafficked women. Okay, well, that's getting serious. So they say these were all made by Milk Bar in the same way. They talk about sheep. They keep going here. They want to know. They want Andrew Tate to come and defend why it appears he made a sex tape with a 14-year-old. That's a real. Once again, Chad, I thought it was a 15-year-old, but yes, there's the allegations of a 16 or 15-year-old. So. But yes, this just goes on and on and on and on. It took them how many pages to get to this shit? All this shit here. And, it's great. What is this actually going to lead to? I mean, this is such gobbledygook. This is just rambling and ranting. This is not a well thing. This just doesn't work for me. What color is my Bugatti? The color of your mom's tears. That's what color it is. So, why do you think your mom's vibrator looks that color? Where do you think she got the idea from? So, this is, they keep going here. They keep going through all of this. And it's just like, what is this stuff? Like, everybody, once again, we go back to Mr. Jury. And it just keeps going. And this is not properly, like boasting about interrupting their business income. Okay, well, break this down because this goes on and on and on in such a shitty way. This just goes on and on and on here. I mean, look how much, like, this is such a fucking mess. This doesn't work. This doesn't work at all. So I mean, this is just, for reading this earlier, guys, this is such garbage. So the first cause of action, okay, which is what? Where is the first cause of action? We don't have it. So they want to go after him and they're seeking what? It says under Florida law, they're trying to get defamation. They want to claim for defamation. So it's got to be a false statement about the plaintiff. 3 to a third party, and the falsity of the statement cause injury to the plaintiff. These guys are public persons. So there's another standard. You have to have malice. We're in the New York Times versus Sullivan territory. These guys are public figures. So, once again, remember they showed all that stuff about at the beginning? You mean all that shit way at the top? Like, how these guys are awesome at what they do. They're international businessmen. They're moguls. They're motivational speakers. Their revenue is hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, so guess what? They're highly respected. So they're public figures. So you're gonna have to show malice, and I don't think you got that. So, yes, thoughts and players. Yes, the publication of false statements to third parties. Well, yeah, we know it's out there, and they say that plaintiffs have filed a substantial lawsuit outlining a significant number of exculpatory statements, which show their innocence. Okay. Well, where is it? What is it? Why don't we have any more information? Show us this stuff. They claim that other alleged victims in Romania, which I'm sure is totally not coerced, they've offered sworn statements indicating the Tate brothers are nice. They haven't hurt them. It's like, come on now. Come on now, guys. Oh my God, I'm going to sneeze my nose off here. So they say on the date this complaint was filed, the defendants are still trying to help turn people and harm the Tate brothers. Oh, don't worry. The Tates are harming themselves. They don't need help turning people. I mean, this is so fucking crazily typed out. This is awfully formatted, guys. I don't understand why this is done this way. It also doesn't help half the time some of these are not justified, but it's clear that yes, this is costing them, if it's true, harms their business relationships, their personal relationships, their reputational damage. Yeah, but where is it? Where is it? You haven't shown any of this stuff. Jeez, I just blew my nose so hard I got a little lightheaded. Wow, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. So they go on more. They're going to restate all these paragraphs. Okay, what are you trying to show? They're trying to show more defamation. Notice how this is such garbage. This is so hard to follow. This is so hard to follow. Once again, more defamation, more defamation. And once again, there's a public figure thing here. It's going to be. So these are per se defamations. You've impugned someone's professional character, that you state or imply an unmarried person is unchaste, meaning they a hoe. That's defamation per se. You imply that a person is infected with an STD, or you state or imply they've committed a crime of moral turpitude. So theft or fraud. So defamation per se is a higher level of things. Victoria says he's got you now on Rumble. What? What do you mean muted again? So they talk about the publication of false statements to third parties that impugn the character and professional standing. Yeah, but nobody cares. And this is so this is so poorly put together. This is hard to read, and I read it earlier. This is very hard to read. The third cause of action, but I didn't realize it got this bad at the end. I thought it was like a little more doable. So notice they only restate the same 257 paragraphs. They talk about civil conspiracy, chat, and notice that you can't find it till you get down and read it. Civil conspiracy, which is gonna fail. Civil conspiracy will not work. RICO never works. Is there a conspiracy between two parties to do an unlawful act or to do a lawful act by unlawful means? The doing of some sort of overt act of pursuance of the conspiracy or furtherance of the conspiracy. And then finally, 4, damage to the plaintiff as a result of acts of the conspiracy. So once again, this is not going to work, but they are trying to do the conspiracy here. It's like, it's not going to work. So they say to do an unlawful act and doing some overt act in pursuance of the conspiracy. They took an overt act by outlining their systemic plot to defame the Tate brothers, harm the Tate brothers, dropkick Tate brothers, smash Tate brothers' skull on a sidewalk, and roundhouse launch Tate brothers into the sun, defame, harm, and use the Tate brothers. So the Tate brothers have been economically damaged because they suffered material losses. Between the lost property that was the basis for the conspiracy, lost time at work as a result of being distracted, and the economic and reputational damages. Yeah, I don't know about all that. So the fourth cause of action. They're doing commercial defamation, which is a little different. They're arguing the statement was false. The person making the statement intends for you to suffer financial loss, and your business does suffer loss, resulting in actual damages. And this is going to be a tough one because how do you know this wasn't because you guys were arrested and people thought you were? Like a lot of people thought that since this happened. So I don't know how you show the harm there on that one. That's going to be a tough one for them. And the person making the statement knew it was false or did not have any concern whether it was true. Okay, well, like I said, I still think this is going to be the thing that kills your case mostly. They talk about the financial losses because of the false statements. You know, people quit being involved because they were accused of sex trafficking. Yeah, but that was in the news. Nobody wanted to do it. They say at no point were they engaged in human fraud, trafficking, false imprisonment, or sexual abuse. Nor had they ever been charged with the felony of human trafficking by any jurisdiction anywhere in the world. Well, you were charged with some fucked up shit in Romania, so are you really wanting to go down that road? Like, that's not a good look. It's not a good look. So they go on to further here talk about all this. They reserve their rights. They're willing to add a claim for punitive damages against one or more defendants. Why wouldn't you include that now? They're all punitive. You should be seeking punitive damages. Like to punish them. You should do that. Demand for a jury trial makes sense and relief sought. They pray for a judgment as follows. They want to enter a judgment of liability against the defendants. And this is from an attorney, Thomas Maniotis. Good for him. Good for him landing these guys who they're going to pay. Hopefully they pay well. I'm sure they will. Attorneys for the plaintiffs, Andrew and Tristan Tate. And we get to the end here. Like, that was... I mean, they're screwed. They're not going to win here. I don't see how they win because they've already admitted to all this shit. You know, Andrew Tate's talked about all this crap left, right, and center. I don't see how that helps him. I don't see how he thinks he can win here. And yeah, like, what reputation do these guys have left? What reputation do these guys have left here? I don't know what they have. Because their reputation was already in the shitter. I really don't know. I really don't know what they think this does for them. Hold on here one more second, chat. All right, chat. There we go. Ooh, geez, my nose is like, ooh. Before we know these Tate attorneys took a check beforehand to write this garbage, yeah. There's no way they would have done this with all like the check cleared first. So, yes, this is why you can't do this in federal court. Although, to be fair, if I was in a state court, like I would ask for a cleaner statement because this is garbage. But yes, in federal court, they would just, the judge would get very mad at you for doing this. You can't do this in federal court. So if you guys notice, we've seen complaints where you're like, oh, I can read along and figure out as we're going. No big deal. This one, you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? But that's the problem with this case. It's such garbage. But remember, these guys are public figures. So where's the malice? Is there malice here? I don't know if they're going to be able to show that. You know, Florida has anti-slap as well. So these people are clearly going to say it's clearly based on our speech, so it's a slap suit. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. I think they win. I mean, I don't see how people are going to be able to say you can't look at Andrew Tate's comments and say he's not a rapist or a child trafficker or a human trafficker or whatever the fuck you want to call him, because he's got a lot of fucked up statements out there. I mean, we went through a couple of them. They're really, really bad. I don't see how this helps. I don't see this helps him. So, Rachel says you're catching up at 2x speed. Well, you can skip to the end. You'll probably save yourself some time there. So, yeah, Sweet Tooth Fairy says the code is booger sugar. Yes. Yes! All right, chat. So we got a bunch of things to catch up on here. So the Chugi show, it says, late because fighting with MAGA about Trump's deportations. Sean is an undercover lib, chat, April Fools. Yeah, I will say, initially I was thinking that that El Salvadoran guy they wrongfully deported. Well, it turns out he was rightfully deported, so fuck him. Don't feel bad. The government did not fuck up, at least with this guy. So who knows? Maybe they did with others. I don't really know, but the ones they're picking so far are kind of sus. And then, like, you know, we get to learn all the information. You're like, oh, wow, these guys were pieces of shit. You know, it's like they were 100% pieces of shit. So there you go. There you go. Assholes React, gifting 5 subs, chat. Yes, they had a beautiful video they released today. So you guys should go take a look at it. They have a clip breakdown of me versus Nick. I will tell you, it is the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny. So you guys should take a look at it. I think it's very well done. You know, nothing but the best from those guys. I think they did a phenomenal job with it. But chat, they just did their part to pray the gray away. Remember, chat, we have to pray the gray away. Are you praying the gray away? Are you helping? Are you taking care here to help make this chat green? Are you? Are you doing your part? Because if you're not doing your part, you should be. And if you're not doing your part, you know, you're just going to condemn your fellow chatters to a long, suffering life of grayness. And that's not fair to anyone. I would never want that for any of you. I would never want that for any of you. But thank you guys for your support and your generosity. Agbound Chemist says, no wonder Nick Fuentes loves Andrew Tate. Yeah, he likes the trannies and the cat boys. They got their things there. Commander Kodiak says, are these consent accidents? I don't know if this would count as a consent accident, but I've got my concerns. About that. It does sound like a little bit. Ooh, I could see some Lucy's kind of on my beard. I should work on that tonight. Hammond King says, Sean said he is a cool. Yes, that's right, guys. I really think Andrew Tate is cool. Yes, that's totally cool. He is the top G. He is the coolest man around. He is big, bad Leroy Brown, the biggest, baddest cat in town. He's always got his shirts open like the Thai Rent Boys. I'll take your word on that one. So, Luke Pearson says, hey, Tate. You know, it's like, you got to do like Kendrick Lamar, like, hey, Tate, I hear you like him young. They got a special place for him in Seed Cot, cell block 1. Oh yes, that's so funny. Yes, there is so much. There's so much to it. Let me see here. Stephen Cooper says Rico is like lupus. Yes, and House. It's never lupus. Yes, it's never lupus. It's never Rico. Correct. Except for the one time it was Rico. The court of public opinion. Thank you. Is saying subscribe and like. Thank you. I appreciate that message. It's always a good message. Yes, we're going to find other usernames out there like Harry Sachs 1488, Adolf Titler. Yes. And then Chadwick Meyer says, "Isn't a trans person just a ship of thesis?" Yes, and guys, a ship of thesis is the idea that if you start replacing all the planks on a ship, and eventually you replace every piece of wood on the boat with a new piece of wood, is it still the same? Because at the beginning it's nothing's new, and by the end it's all new. Is it still the same boat? It's a philosophical, it's a theoretical discussion. So, and then Skeeve Man for £5 sterling. But as a good Scotsman, he is not going to recognize the king in his sterling. He tells the king, "Take your shillings and fuck off. Bugger the king's shillings." He says, if all these people are over the age of 18, then what is Tate's interest in them? Yes, very true. Very, very true. Dell says, "God bless Israel." Yeah. They're all Mossad backers, yes. Yes. Vital Revolution says, "We all love Israel, our greatest ally." Yes, I love Israel from my heart. I just love them. I just want to show Israel how much I love them. Yes, Britain thinks they have jurisdiction over a guy in Serbia. Well, that too. Yes, he has an entourage of brokies there. Yes, when he talks about all those poor people he's hanging with. Michael Gelke saying the kickboxers is justifying the hot trainees with dicks. Okay, then. Well, yeah, it's... Why are you in Thailand, bruv? Yes. Your Honor, well, it may be the case that at another time I would be guilty. Because of the statute of limitations, you must pretend as if I'm not. I'll be fair, that's how you have to treat it. Like, oh, you can't prosecute. AJ Arguello, good to see you, man. It's been a little while. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you. He comes in and drops 10 subs, chat. 10 subs. He's doing his part tonight. Are you? He's showing up and he's just crushing everything that's not green. If it's gray, if it's off-white, if it's black, he's crushing it all. Just look at that carnage. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Those neutral colors just getting carnaged. That's just warms your heart. Thank you, AJ, for your support and your generosity. HIV1 says that can allegations be defamatory if they're unproven? Because you're accusing somebody of committing a crime, that can cause embarrassment and problems in the public eye. So that's actually not like, you can be accused of committing a crime. That's defamation. Because people can believe it. It can be harmful. Would you call this complaint legal gooning? No, this is just shit. It's just shite. It's shite if you were in Britain. Missouri Battle Flag says, nobody talks about Melania Trump getting $900 gazillion for defamation. Boy, that went hush-hush, didn't it? Yeah. Or all these other all the other organizations settling with Trump. You're like, huh? Well, golly gee, what's going on there? Huh, guys? Interesting. Lone Star Medic for $20. Thank you. Is saying, Sean, only really follow you in Legal Mindset from LawTube, quote unquote, after the barns burn up. You can call it the barn burner. I'm happy you gives us honest legal takes. Remember, OPSEC and InfoSec are eternal. Yes. Yes, InfoSec eternum. Very true. If you guys know what OPSEC means, I mean, this is a great example.
Nigga, is you taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy? What the fuck is you thinking, man?
That's OPSEC, chat. That's a great example of OPSEC. And then Johan Naxos for 5 subs, just coming in there and just finding those grays. Just looking at those grays and like, you know what? I don't like those grays in the way. Just taking care of those grays, chat. I mean, if you're gray, duck and cover, baby. Duck and cover. Duck and cover, chat. Duck and cover. Oh. And then Lone Star Medic says, for $10, thank you. It's saying, sadly today I had to burn 2 of my Twitter accounts for trolling. It's too hard in getting them arrested. Rip, lol. Wow, you're working really hard if you're getting banned right now. What did you do? But, yes, chat. 07's out there for Lone Star's burner accounts. May you be able to make more. Oh, yes, a Greyhawk down. Yeah. Maybe the Tate should use a lawyer Montegraph used against Nick Ricada. That dude seems to get the job done. Oof. No. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yes, now do him calling for knife restrictions. Yes, that's the sad part about it. Access send Viva to CCOT. Oh. Sweet Tooth Fairy is actually bringing up a good thing here. As long as you say allegedly, does that counter defamation? No. And if you just say, well, it's my opinion. Well, after a while, your opinion will become factually based. So you're not just like kind of making a surmising. Like just saying in my opinion or it's my opinion does not shelter you. After a while, you're kind of burned. So you have to be very careful to do that. So you have to be careful because you might say it's an opinion, but are you asserting fact? I mean, that's really the problem. You have you could go like, oh, well, I'm just my opinion. Well, no, your opinion was very factually based. So you have to be very careful. Zero Fuck says, love the closed captions. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so listening to Stringer Bell nowadays talking about your knife license. Yes, it's so sad. It's very sad. Let's see here. Was that Stephen Paddock, the Vegas shooter with his bump stocks? Yes. Bella's saying, wait, did Nick say that Viva was in the bathroom with him while he did coke at Mar-a-Lago, or that he walked in right after Nick did a line? I don't know. Nick's not very clear about it. But yes, imagine that. You have the opportunity to go to Mar-a-Lago and hobnob and, especially the knob part for Nick. Hobnob and get involved with all these people and network and rub shoulders. And Nick's just acting like a tart in the bathroom. It's like, brah. So I guess. Natasha says, suffer, Gray, suffer. You had to burn them because too much info or linking to other threads of info. Remember InfoSec? Yeah. But see, that's okay for me because I use LawTube Sean, so it's I don't have to worry about InfoSec because I already know who I am. So my OPSEC is kind of there's an advantage to when you're running out in the open. I will say that just so you're aware. There's an advantage to when you run out in the open because if people know who you are, there's no you just do what you got to do. You don't have to worry about the gray man when your dick's hanging out. Also, chat, I had to move the I had to move this Frome over here from over by the wall, over by the safe. Does that look a little better now? It's kind of like in the center of the screen. I think so. I think so, but I'm not sure. Tell me. Trump one says, "What's more dangerous, a Chinese star or a Jewish star?" I don't know. I wouldn't want a Jewish shuriken put into my head either. So, did I talk about Carl Jobst losing his case against Billy Mitchell? No, that's going to need to be its own thing because the judge gives an opinion. Although I will say this. It's very interesting how Carl misdirected everybody as to what the premise of this actually was about. So what apparently happened, Carl is the guy who covers all the video game stuff out there, and he covers a lot of speedrunning things. And he covered Billy Mitchell, the king of Kong, who's a fucking weirdo. And people thought Carl got sued for claiming Billy's a cheater. No. Carl got sued for accusing Billy of causing a man to commit suicide. And there wasn't any evidence to support it. And the guy who committed suicide said he was terminally ill and he couldn't take it anymore. And that's why Billy sued him. And, you know, the judge, like, when you listen to his opinion, you're like, what the fuck? And you're like, that was completely papered over by Carl. And that was really disingenuous by him. Like, I think that's very shitty what he did. You know, got all that money from people, thought, oh, we're faulting Billy Mitchell. And it's like, not so much. Not so much. But yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, basically he fucked around with that. Greencap says, yes, Aaron wants me to host Naked Twister at the anniversary show this summer. Yeah, Aaron did send me a thing. I got to look at my schedule. And also, I might have some family stuff coming up. But I know I have some things in July, court-wise, I got to look at. And I think I have something in August scheduled out. Not a lot of things get scheduled out that far, chat, but civil stuff does. Criminal stuff, like, no, you're way too early. But, you know, I got to see what my schedule's looking like, my family stuff is looking like. But that might be a possibility. It might be a possibility. I'll come in and do the steel toes, the People's Court, and I'll have a sandwich as my gavel. That'd be great. Get a sandwich and like have it like spray coated and clear coat so it hardens up. You can just thump. Oh, it'll be funny. It'll be funny. So maybe. Lone Star Medic says my TISM is for security, so I had to burn it for security. Yeah. Yes. Luke says I would absolutely do coke at Mar-a-Lago. That sounds bussin'. Oh, I'm sure. You can give up your pussy to bust for coke, wouldn't you? Viva would do poppers. Well, that's okay. Nick probably does poppers too. Natasha. I don't know why that slipped over after I saw you suffer, Grace. But come in and tell the Grace to suffer. Suffer, Grace. Oh, she's coming in with the H1 green visas. Making America green again. Natasha is doing her part, chat, to make America green again. You guys can't do nothing about it. Can't do nothing about it. It's over. It's over, Green's got to suffer. It's got to suffer. Natasha, thank you for your support and your generosity. I really do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Oh, thank you. Also saying Viva knew about the coke use is probably defamation, which is funny. I said, I don't know if he did or not, but you know, it seems the way Nick worded it, it seems like that could be inferred. I don't know. Yes, he was wandering around Mar-a-Lago coked out of his head discussing redo of Healer. Yeah. Do you guys like anime? So we're trying to discuss business deals, but anime's a business too. Yes, just talk shit under your real name. That is an advantage. It's an advantage at times. There is protection in that cloak. Reformed Convict says you have to do coke in those situations. It's in the fine print if you read it. Yes, when you walk into the bathroom with somebody at the Mar-a-Lago bathrooms, If someone's in there doing cocaine or any sort of drug, by law of Mar-a-Lago, yes, it's right there on the bottom, right at the mirror, at the bottom of the mirrors. If someone's doing drugs in here, you must participate. Good to see you, Reformed. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. I like the change in your avatar, too. Your PFP is great. Let's see here. The judge went in on Carl. Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, but it's not centered on the sound panels. Yeah, I know, but I'm going to get rid of the sound panels. Or at least, because there are like 4 of them in a square, and I'm probably going to cut off the bottoms. Just because it kind of clutters up the top edge of my thing. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. We're thinking about, I've thought of 2.0. I've thought about redoing stuff. Although it's interesting because this is the corner room of a house. So like behind me is an exterior wall. And over here to my side, to my right is an exterior wall. And I have the sound panels up. And there, I took some carpet tape, the 2-sided tape, and just put them up. And a couple of them don't, like, I've had problems keeping them on in like extreme heat or cold. Yet these things in the back, knock on wood, for probably now almost 3 years. I mean, I've had those fuckers up for a while, like actually 2 years, about 2.5 years now. They haven't fucking fallen down, which I don't get, but they're still there. So I'm going to trim them up just so they're out the bottom of the screen, and I may move the phromes around or something. I don't know. I'm going to figure something out. And I don't know if I should have the safe behind me, like if I should move the safe over here. I should move the bookcases. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So, yeah. So, Ag is saying, supposedly Medals of Honor are throwing stars these days. The Fat Electrician had a great video on Joe Foss. If you guys don't like, and that's the funny stuff, I've read books about Joe Foss. Joe Foss was a World War II fighter pilot. Like, those guys in World War II, like, they let anybody fly airplanes back then. There weren't any rules about being an engineer, being that smart. Like, they had drunkards and guys who would just fight and insubordinate motherfuckers. Like, they were busy fighting the war. So, like, you can read about all kinds of crazy shit, but, like, and Joe Foss was a, like, notorious asshole, like, throughout his life and was very abrasive, very hard to deal with at times. Wasn't afraid to tell people what's up. So, yeah, if you guys, I didn't know if Fat Electrician talked about it, but yeah, it's a pretty cool story with those guys, Joe Foss and the others out there. Yes, the former CEO of the AFL. Yes. So Jim is saying, what's worse, the people from Toledo or the retards of Wisconsin who voted for the pedo judge? Well, they're all, I mean, I don't know. And also, did Wisconsin judge lose? It's like, fuck. Well, Wisconsin's fucked if that happens. Let's see here. Wisconsin's fucked. Okay, sorry, Wisconsin. Apparently, your Supreme Court's fucked now, so F's in the chat. F's in the chat. Maman Rezu's saying, he didn't do it, though, Sean. You have to look into it. There were 3 suits, and the suicide was the only surviving one. Yeah, but that's, yeah. You guys are saying, hold on here. How did I get so far back? Are there court docs? Can you read it? I'm going to look for a bunch of them for Carl. They're out there. There's also the court goes through its opinion. David says, be really light his dick off. Yeah, he did a really good job of kind of manipulating everybody on that, hiding the facts, and knowing he was going to get smoked. Is there a class action? You'd have to get the money from Australia, which is going to be impossible. Did I say the guy who self-deleted was testifying? Yeah. Well. So. Debbie O says March 23rd is now Pakistan Day in Tejas. I guess, Pakistan, where, Do they have like activities in the Pakistan Day where you fuck your cousin? Because apparently there's a lot of inbreeding in Pakistan. Just saying. You should look at one of those charts that like in the maps where like you correlate IQ and heavy inbreeding, and you know what they do over Pakistan? They go, they line up. I just defamed an entire country. Aaron can't wait for me to get on the mat. Yes. Well. Oh. Will you look any faces there? No, I would not do that at the steel toe thing. Do you like the YouTuber Synthetic Man? I don't know him. Michael says, can you donate subs without being a member? I think so. I don't think there's anything that stops you. I think anybody can donate subs. What is Synthetic Man? What is he? Does he like synthetic oil? Synthetic Man. What does he do? Oh no, this is some commentary shit. Okay. No, I don't never seen him before. I'll have to look at some stuff here. Okay, this looks pretty funny already. The Chud cast. Oh, this looks pretty. Okay, this looks already pretty good. I'll have to look him up at some point. A Lone Star Medic is a new member. Thank you. Joining up to take on the Greys.
Fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
Do your part, chat. Do your part. Anime is better than Democrat ball. Yes. Margot sounds like the White House with Hunter. Yeah, Mar-a-Lago sounds like the Biden White House with Hunter at times. Yes. No Mayo says Nick and Don Jr. been hanging in the bathroom. Yes. Yes, there are no VIPs in the Mar-a-Lago bathroom. Oh, it says he offered people coke. I don't know if he mentioned Viva. I took it more like he meant Yellow Flash and Andrew at Matsuri. I'm sure he offered a lot of people coke. Maddie B says, I suggest a full professional studio. Well, like, what do you mean by that exactly? Because, like, I got to be professional. I don't understand what that word means. Sir. So, let me see here. Hold on here. Why is this? I hate this. Where you're using fucking Outlook and you have something, you're like, it's not junk. Don't ever block the sender. And you're like, okay. And then what does it proceed to do the next time that person sends something? It blocks the goddamn sender. And it puts them in your fucking garbage. And it's just like, it's so hard to pay attention to shit. I should be having to religiously check my spam. So, Jefferson Post says, don't know ever and use their name and face. Yeah. I know, like I said, that's one way to do it. It is. So, Reformed Convict says it is. I took a magnifying glass. Love you, Sean. Always watching device. Wouldn't work. No updating, so I had to buy a new one. Oh, well, that sucks. You had to get a new device, but I'm glad you're here. The No Joe Press Amnesty stream is unsubbed. Yes, the ATF is gay. Recreate RTU's room. Yeah, well, I'm not going to do that. I should stream from my kitchen. Well, no. Oh. Build a whole room that is a safe and use it as my studio. Yeah. A lot of sound dampening solutions are garbage that can be overcome by filters. Well, to an extent. But when I first got into this room, and that I think you guys noticed that when you move out of a house or move into a house or move into an apartment, anytime you have an empty room, it echoes really bad. And one of the first things you can do, and this is something I'd always done before in a room, especially if it's got like, laminate floor or wood floor or tile floor, you just take a rug and you put it down. You kill sound immediately with that. Putting up some nice curtains is a great way to kill sound. But eventually you're going to have stuff in here to absorb sound and bounce it differently. So when I first got going in here, before I had the safe in here and other stuff, it was just the bookcases and things like that. I had to have sound panels up because you could buy like 100 of them from Amazon for like $15. Sure, when you open the packaging, they're like 100 of them squished together, and when you open it, it smells like cancer and formaldehyde. So you let them off gas for like, I let them sit outside for like a whole day, and they just kept on reeking when I go check on them. But eventually they quit smelling, and you just put them up everywhere. Kills the sound immediately. Like there's a closet door in here, and then there's the door to the rest of the house. I took a big sheet of cardboard, cut it out, taped it to the door, taped a bunch of the panels to the door. Like, all the sound is gone. So I did everything I could to overly kill the sound and really control it, because people seem to like it better. So, Kathy says, I like your studio. Thank you, Kathy. And guys, remember, Kathy is your realtor in Jersey. If you're in the New Jersey area, you need a realtor, get a hold of Kathy. If you happen to be in Jersey on the Channel Islands, remember, you're going to be shit out of luck. Although if you pay Kathy enough, I'm sure she would come out there and help sell your house in the Channel Islands. But yes, I like your studio. Thank you. Other law tubers have sissy studios with purple lights. Well, yeah, a lot of people have the lights and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. Kind of like it how it is. But, there's always room to improve. There's always room to improve. You see other people with their setups, and you're like, at times it's simpler, and I'm like, I don't know. So, we'll see. We'll see. Bella says, Pepperbox TV is pretty good. I have not used it yet, but I heard it's pretty good. Yes, Dick Bong is one of the, a great fighter pilot in World War II. Yes, died testing the F-80 Shooting Star. Ribbon Cap says, I'm moving now. Well, sorry, you're going to have to move. Yes, fuck the cheeseheads, yes. Democrats wrecked the GOP in Wisconsin tonight, apparently. Great job, guys. Yes. Press saying in Florida, yes, the Florida GOP seats have won by narrow margins, but they count. Winning is winning is winning. Schneebly is saying Carl claimed he was threatened with a lawsuit via cheating. I don't think anybody knows how legit those threats were, if he was just fundraising. I don't know. I think he's all bullshit there. So, but yeah, I'm going to look at Synthetic Man. Apparently he's great. You didn't defame an entire country. It's not defamation if it's true. Although in some countries, defamation it doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's still a crime, or it's still a thing. I think even Mindset said, especially in Asia, that's a thing. So, will I perform a 25-hour live stream? Sen did that. No, did he get to 25K or something? Because it's like, if so, good for him. But no, I don't think we're gonna do a 25K stream. We're gonna do something. I don't know what yet. Also, holy shit, is there more storm weather tonight? Oh god, if you are in Ellsworth, Kansas or Saline, Kansas, there's tornadoes and shit coming your way. So fucking hunker down. I think you're gonna have a bad day. So oh wow. Oh, this is actually going to be interesting for tomorrow for people. Uh-oh. This is if you guys ever watch Ryan Hall, y'all, he's good because he's got enough people watch, but there's going to be fucking shit everywhere tomorrow.
3 p.m. Eastern, and we'll probably go until 3 a.m.
So yeah, apparently this is going to be the NOAA outlook for tomorrow. That's if you're in the Mississippi Valley and the Ohio River Valley right there. Oh boy, Cape Girardeau, Caro. Yeah, have fun with that, chat. Have fun with that. Oh, Memphis, you guys have fun with that shit. I am not looking forward to that. So you guys do that. Oh, Dead Snake says Synthetic Man says sometimes super dented things. Well, I say dented shit too once in a while. Like, you think I just make bangers all the time? Look, I don't. You may think that, but I really don't. Even Ted Williams. You know how Ted Williams, best baseball player ever. Ted Williams hit 405 for an average. That's only 40% of the time. So most of the time you're fucking striking out or you're grounding out. Like, he was the best, and that was the best you could do. So, have I been down the Rockard Power and Mohawk F1 rabbit hole? No. I'm not. So, you need a Joker painting? No, I don't. Just don't buy a coffee company. Yeah. Did I talk about the Did I ever talk about the rights restoration? Yeah, we did on a Thursday night show, Jim. And I'm glad that's a positive thing Pam Bondi's doing, because I think a lot of people deserve to have the rights restored. That's actually inspiring to see. But I mean, that's good. But if they're already going that far, there's even more they can do. So, but yes, it's actually a very big thing. But I want to see them like go through it all the way. And Kathy's saying, no, don't go purple. I'm not saying going purple, but I've seen them, like, I take ideas from other people the way they have setups, and I'm like, that's interesting, or interesting ways to do it. But yeah, moving the safe around, moving the bookcases around. Yes. Like, what are you thinking, Sean? Use your words. The things with books on them. The cases that hold books. You mean a bookcase? That's what I mean. Like, come on. Yeah, no coffee companies. I'm not. I should require lots of LED lighting. No. So, invite Joe over and start digging. He knows how to tunnel. Yes. The solution to echoing is to becoming a hoarder. Yes. Winston is saying for $5. Thank you, by the way. I'm sick as hell with the flu right now. Thank you for keeping me entertained and informed. And yeah, check out Synth. He's a really good critic. Like I said, we'll take a look at that. Thank you. Missouri Battle Flag is just lol. The Lone Star Medic says, I'm looking forward to the potential amnesty for the NFA. I will drill the third hole and make a grease gun. I'm not joking. I'll go to home. Like, if that happens, I'm going to find like a tubing supply company out here. And I'm going to find out like how much does it cost to buy like 20 feet of tubing. Seamless steel, like drawn over mandrel steel tubing. Like, I want good, solid steel tubing. Not like thick pipe from Home Depot, but like buying like, shit like that. And buy it and register a bunch of Sten and grease gun tubes, even MP40 tubes. Registering a bunch of tubes. Because if you guys didn't realize that, a lot of World War II machine guns, some machine guns, were made on a tube design. Like, the tube is the body where the bolt and everything go. And the barrel goes into. So there's a lot of shit you can do. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that. But yeah, I've got these, I got my lower receivers, dude. I'd be drilling some third holes. I would find a couple of AK flats. I'd buy some of those shitty AK flats, third hole, and do them, those fuckers. Oh yeah, I'd amnesty all kinds of shit. Especially if it's like a free amnesty, dude. I'm just going to take a big piece of sheet metal and be like, oh, look, here's I'll just like lightly stamp out receiver blanks and, just like cut them out and be like, look, a bunch of receivers. Here, I'm registering this big sheet of fucking metal. There's all kinds of stuff I would do. It'd be so fucking fun. It'll be so fun. Let's see if she does it. But yeah, Winston, I hope you feel better. Kimbo saying, help! Sean has me trapped in the basement. Exactly. Echo proofing is different than soundproofing. Yeah. The kitty mat foam pieces do good and are good on your feet. Yes. Why do I need sound panels when I don't know how to unmute? Very good question. Very good question. I don't know. I don't know either. Tim Poole is saying, not trying to knock your sound, Sean. You have good audio. In my opinion. I think you don't need to overthink it. Yeah. I need to make the studio look like a deli. Oh. Craig says convincing people to live in New Jersey has got to be one of the hardest jobs out there. Yes. Sweet Tooth Fairy says, I like your eclectic look. I do too, but I'm thinking, like, is there a way I can, like, balance it? I don't know. I keep thinking about wanting to move shit around, and I'm like, when I do that, it's like a whole day wasted. So, yes, Mindset started posting and started streaming from a bathroom. Yes. Yes, in Korea. Yes. Cheap sound panels for your kill room. Thanks for the tip. You're welcome, Stacy. Chuck Sneed was the greatest fighter pilot ever. He's the reason Desert Storm was won so well. Yes. Jim is saying narrow margins in Florida. 12 to 18 points. 12 to 18 points is still a sound win. It's a lot more narrower than when Trump was winning by like 30 plus points. But even 12 points is an ass whooping politically. But apparently those guys were dickheads, so. Legal Mindset got a mention from Penguin Zero. Oh, cool. And Brewberry says in Korea and Japan, defamation is a criminal matter. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. If it's true and makes you look bad, it's still defamation, which sucks. And then I think even in India, you know, what the whole PewDiePie and T-Series thing is, as he said in his one song, that's still not defamation. It's been raining in California. Good. Yes, the Trump flag has been blowing behind me. Yes, because I got the ceiling fan going. And I noticed that today. It's going, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then other nights I've noticed when I've had the window open enough, you can see the flag flutter in the breeze. So, Ryan Hall is a state dropout. Yeah. Suffolk, Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky is going to get hit hard. Noah used to be trustable. Not sure about now. Well, like for these things, Noah is pretty trustworthy. Bella says, "Wait, is it hitting the Tennessee Valley too?" A little bit. It looks like they're a tad. So, yeah, a lot of big hitters bat 250. Well, I mean, I remember as a kid, you'd see guys get into the Hall of Fame. They batted 300 and, you know, stole like, you bat 300 and you bat 300 for your career and, you know, do like 30 homers or 30 stolen bases a year and you get into the Hall of Fame. Do you prefer your watermelons with or without a pacifier? If there's a joke here, I'm not sure because I'm not a watermelon guy. Watermelon is kind of like, it's very sweet and I don't like it. But I will say, like, actual watermelon flavor is better than artificial watermelon flavor. They're both disgusting. But artificial watermelon flavor is really bad. I don't know how you people can eat that. And I don't mean like black people. I just mean in general. How do people eat watermelon? It's just, ugh. I don't understand it. Ag says Lawson's being swapped with Yuki this weekend for the Red Bull. Well, that makes sense. He didn't have a good run, and I think, you know what? I think it's let Yuki run because we are in Japan. That'll be good. Yeah, 405 is Hall of Fame first try. Well, yes. Yes, bookcases. Yes. No, I don't know. Did Sean just merge out? I don't know. Yes, does Peter Tragos have a great setup? Oh, Peter has a phenomenal setup. I think that's... I wish I had a room with the depth that he has, because that's part of the problem. This is a very small room, but it's a room I get to use, so I'm very fortunate. But I wish I had the depth that Peter Tragos has, because he's got that where you can have stuff really far in the back and everything's blurred out. Although if I spent like $1,000 and bought a fancy camera, I could probably do that too here. But I like how he's got his setups and all that. And like I said, I see people doing their stuff and I really like it. So I don't know. I've thought about like, I don't know what I've thought. I've thought about a bunch of different things. Yes, kiss is the way to go for most things. I agree. And that's why I thought about simplifying all this shit here too a little bit. I don't know, like changing up how stuff's on the walls. I don't know, like if I can zoom out more. But that's a problem. Like if I zoom out more, you get like that. It doesn't all work out right. So you're like, you got the corner. And I get pissed off seeing the corner right there. So I just leave it like that. Get an LC sign from Tony. I thought about that. Like potentially criminal as one of those. Like I thought about that. The LED neon things where you can even sit there and cut them and play with them on your own is too. Like they're pretty neat. You could fuck around with them all day. Moose Nut saying hello, hi. 2 Scoops of Destroyer. How are you doing? Job well done says you're looking at a couple bucks a foot. Yeah. Aircraft gate is what you want, most even and pure. Yeah. I'm going to build a Baldo launchers. Yeah. Nick likes his 3rd hole drilled. Oh. No. Yes, for every 1,000 subs I will gain from here to 30, I will add one RPG element to the stream background. Yes. Yes. Sweet Bovine saying, good evening. Will you be interested in looking into Roddy Duterte's trials in The Hague for genocide under his war on drugs narrative during his presidency? Yes. If there's information to cover that, I will be, because I think it's interesting. Like, we haven't had a really good, like, Hague trial thing. And if there's stuff to go over and look through, I definitely will. Guys, remember, we covered that one of the Thursday nights. He's the former president of the Philippines when he did a war on drugs, which basically turned into his death squads running around, murking people. So, yes. Forgotten Weapons does a good breakdown on his arrest. Whose arrest? I don't know. Whose arrest are you talking about? Oh, Ludy's. Oh, Philip Ludy. Yeah. Ludy with the Ludy submachine gun chat. If you guys go to type it in, it's basically he takes a steel tube. He goes to Home Depot, the British version of it, and makes a submachine gun out of parts from Home Depot. And it was effective for what it was. It was for a guy working in his shed. It was brilliant. And he went to prison for terrorism for that. But you can buy the book. Reform says certified TIG pipe welder and sheet metal fabricator are my former professions. Rock on. Nico says use one of the tone of white so your camera stops freaking out on the white balance. Yeah. Kathy says thank you for feeling my pain. Oh. Let me see here. Access 300 average for batting is career Hall of Fame worthy. Yeah. And Bama says your sound is fine already. Like you have a $500 mic. Well, this is actually I got one of these. I got when I opened I got this for Christmas like a year ago now, 2 years ago now. I forget. It's been a little while. But when I got this and I opened, it was my Christmas present 2.0 and her sisters and her siblings got together for this for me. And I was like, and I think my siblings got involved in it too. I don't know who got involved in it too, but like these things aren't cheap. And like I got it and I was like, oh, it's a Joe Rogan mic. I'm like, oh my God, I can be professional now. So I got rid of it. If you guys don't remember, I had a different mic on this boom. This is like the $50 boom with the microphone setup that I bought. It was called from Toner. It was an Amazon special. And that was a okay mic. It wasn't because I remember originally I had the one sitting on the table. And every time I touched the table, it would shake because it was like in the holder that was like held up by strings. So it would bounce all the time. So yeah, when I got this, it was a lot of fun. I felt professional. And 2.0 helped me get a mixer and everything. So I felt like really cool with that. Why is this like it's repeating chats, I think, here. Bella says, what? Watermelon's phenomenal? It's not. It's disgusting. Benjamin Lewis says, I'm a cantaloupe guy. I'm not a cantaloupe. Cantaloupe, honeydew, muskmelons. Nope, not my thing. Like cantaloupes are super sweet to me as well. I kind of stick to like basic fruits. I don't like very rich or like tangy fruits. You eat watermelon all day. I can't. You hate watermelon, you're definitely just canceling my prescription now, yeah. Pineapple's my favorite. Pineapple is still, that's not one of my, pineapple no-go. Pineapple's a no-go. Rotten pineapple tastes like cantaloupe? What? Huh. You're saying honeydew is the goat, you'll fight me in real life. Well, yeah. Sorry. Yuki hasn't had a radio meltdown for a while. Yes, Yuki Tsunoda is going to be great. Bella says Sugar Melon is the top 5. Yeah. John Well Done says Robert Gouvet has a nice setup, but he had a sponsor. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But like I said, I wish I had a setup where, I don't know, I wish I could have like a bigger room or something. I don't know. At some point, maybe we'll change. But I like what I have. I just feel like I'm kind of like cluttered too much shit on screen. I think I need to simplify. I think I need to move stuff around. I think there's just too much. And maybe I get rid of I think I keep the books in the safe where they are over here. But I think all this over here needs to get trimmed down. Like there's too much shit. And that's why I think up here, getting rid of those would probably take care of a lot of things as well. Kathy says, where's Trump? Trump is fixed. I will have him up. I got him fixed. It took a little while, but Trump is fixed. But he will come up soon. Zero Fuck says, fuck that corner in particular. Yes. Missouri Battle Flag says, don't do it. It'll make you look fat. Well, yeah, that's going to make me look fat. Zooming out will make me look fat. So, Alyssa Clip says, at least I'm blue. Yeah, there's too many grays here. I know. Yes, hail to the break. How you doing, man? It's good to see you. Saying apparently Carl lost to Billy Mitchell. Yeah. It sucks. But it happens. Moose Nut says, oh, Tim Pool on the fence. What a surprise. Demon's Wrath says, you just reminded me that Boss Man Jack streams with the Desk Mounted Mic. Yes. I find it hard to believe Sean dislikes any food. Yes, I know. You look at me and you're like, how does he care? And I'm like, but I do. I don't like certain flavors. Like the texture of watermelon's fine. I actually think it's really good. And the texture of cantaloupe and the texture of like honeydews, they're all great. It's just the flavor is just so like, whoa. Can't do it. Strawberries. Oh, I fucking love strawberries. Strawberries, bananas, pears, apples, oranges. Love those. Like raspberries, blackberries. What else? What else would I have? Cherries. Not grapes. I'm not a grapes have a nasty texture to me. What else would I eat fruit wise? I'm trying to think here. What else fruit could I have? I mean, like those are the things I generally like. So when people make like fruit salads, I'm like, when I get it, I get a big old scoop of it. I'm the guy sitting there with like my ladle, like I'm picking away at it, like trying to get all the shit I actually want to eat. So, how about melons? They're good. I don't like melons. Yeah. But Convict says melons don't motorboat nearly as good as boobs. That's true. Do I hate watermelon? Do you like black people? I mean, that doesn't mean I have to. I bet 2.0 would prefer it if you ate pineapple. Oh, no. No. I see what you did there. But I like strawberries, yes. Strawberries are some of my favorite. So you get blinds for the bookcases? I don't know what you mean by blinds for the bookcases. So, if Trump goes to war in Yemen or Iran, what will you do with the cardboard cutout? I mean, I'll probably keep it up, but it's like, come on, we're gonna have no more fucking wars. Let's get no more fucking wars. Winston saying, is it true that SIG has been sued for their 320 discharging? Yeah, a couple times. There's a bunch of lawsuits, and they've lost a good number of times so far. Other times they've won, but there have been a couple of times where courts have been like, nope, you're guilty. You're liable for defective manufacturing and defective design. So, yeah, they've gotten their ass kicked a couple of times. Bella says, fresh cherries are good, but cherry flavoring sucks. See? I don't think so. Cherry flavoring is actually very good. We were kids. My mom used to tell us, like, cherries were really fucking expensive in the 80s. There were just times where, like, we didn't get cherries often because they were just really expensive. The cooking side channel win. I don't know. But, guys, I did see, we talked about this last night on the Monday night stream on Locals. Apparently, you could sous vide in a dishwasher. Which, if that's, like, I'm going to try that. We're going to order, I thought 2.0. So, this weekend, I'm going to set it up. We're going to order some steaks that are coming, like, sealed up. And I'm going to throw them in the dishwasher. And we're going to try it. But also, I will tell you, I'll warn you guys, I am actually going to be involved in a Friday night starting at 6. I don't know how long it's going to take. I am in a mock trial. I'm judging a mock trial competition. So I'm going to be out for a bit. So we'll probably have a late show. But I just want you guys to know now it's going to be really late, probably. If it looks like it's going to be early, I'll put a notice up on Locals and also here on YouTube. But plan for it to be really late. Watermelon sucks. You back me up on this, yeah. I despise papaya. I've only had papaya a couple of times. That's actually okay. Believe it or not. I bet I like bread. Well, of course. Do I salt my watermelon? Yeah, I do. But I still, the watermelon flavor is just not good to me. But yeah, salty watermelon I do like. Plum supremacy. They've got to be really ripe plums. I know some people eat plums when they're like an apple. But I need them to be like almost too ripe before I can eat them. So muscadines, yeah, I can have that. I can have them. The schnozberries, yes, because they taste like schnozberries. Gooseberries, I've had some of those before. They're okay. Mangoes are all right. Benjamin says you grow a field of candle. That's a thing that you grow a shitload of those. Bama says lose the books and stickers in the safe. It'll calm down the background. I like it. But I do ghetto redneck in mind. So, yeah, well, I've thought about parsing down the books or parsing down things here. I'm not sure. I thought about, because I already put the stickers on the safe. I'm not going to peel them off. I might just put a cover over the safe. I don't know. Cherries are still expensive nowadays. Yeah, but I really haven't had a kick to eat cherries. Like every once in a while I do. Yes, SIG has all their parts manufactured in China and India. Yes. Natasha says, don't throw the... Are you saying don't throw the steak in the dishwasher? I mean, I'm going to try it. No more model streams. There will be model streams. I won't... Just like Friday night might be kind of late, so... I don't know what we're going to do Friday night yet. We got to figure that out, so... Dragon fruit. I had dragon fruit before. Peaches. Yes, I love peaches. Oh my God. I love peaches. I thought I said peaches before. If I didn't, oh God, they're some of my favorite. The problem is like 2.0 out. Well, actually 2.0 out there. Looking out there for you guys. 2.0 is out there. You know what 2.0 likes to do? She gets the peaches when they're like rock hard. It's like listening to her eating peaches. You look over and you thought she's eating an apple. No, she's eating peaches. She's one of those people. I can't do that. Peaches have to be nice and ripe for me. Kiwis, I do not like kiwis. So, sorry, farms. So, let's see here. The model streams will proceed once more. Keno Casino content is farmed to react to. Yes. I might like some durian. Yeah, no, we're not doing the durian fruit. I've seen those. Can we watch the mock trials? I don't think they're being televised. I'll find out if they are. I'm not sure. That's a good question. Yes, Josh BTFO'd, yes. Strawberry kiwi is delicious. That's a weird flavor. I've had that before when people make strawberry kiwi. Just, yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. It's not the worst thing ever. Let's see. Did I catch up on everything? I think I did. I think we're finally caught up. It took me forever, chat. It took me forever and a day. Scuppidines. What are scuppidines? What about the weird hybrid citrus fruits? Well, some of those are actually pretty good. Some of those are pretty good. How about rhubarb pie? Yes, I like a good rhubarb pie. Is very like I like that. Rhubarb isn't bad if it's cooked well. So, yes, Hunter Biden did get, well, he surrendered his law license in DC. Yeah, things are catching up there. So, also, guys, yeah, if you guys do want to help out, help me get enough views going. We can get that going over there and have parties over on the model channel. But yeah, there's the model channel if you guys want to help out. So J-Rock can feel important lowering over an actual monetized channel because he's the head Janny there. Rhubarb has a lot of oxalates. Kidney stone people beware. Ooh, I didn't know that. Really? Huh. Have I ever had pine berries? They are white flesh strawberries with red seeds that are very sweet. No, but that sounds good. Yeah. Jeff says, you must be tough as nails eating raw, fresh rhubarb. Oh, no. I eat like rhubarb pie. Like, I would not. Oh, Job Well Done says, used to pick and eat it fresh. Ew. Fuck that, man. Ugh. That is rough. I don't know. I've never wanted to try that. I feel like eating glass and rocks after a while. Bama Law says, come to Chilton County, Alabama, and the best peaches you'll ever have. Yes, Jared says, damn it, Sean, we're building a better tomorrow together. I know. That's why I wanted people to go over there. So, all right, guys, it's 11:30. We are done for the night here. The Tate brothers case is a fucking dumpster fire. Like I said, I only got through part of it before we got here, but I just want to show you guys how bad this is. Like, what are you going to do with this? And all like, it's all like, this isn't fair. It's like, people don't fucking like you. There's literally nothing in this case that's going to help them. It's only going to make it worse. So, but yeah, I guess you're saying white strawberries. I'm going to take a look at this. I'll take a look for it. So, but with that said, chat, we will be live tomorrow night. We are going to be covering all the Trump updates with everything that's going on, including the alleged, like, innocent boy who didn't do nothing wrong, got sent back to El Salvador. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover all kinds of fun stuff that's out there with the Trump stuff that's going down. It will be a very fun time. I promise it. You guys are here. We will also do members only tomorrow night. Should be a lot of fun. We've got some neat, just some neat stuff to get going on that. It will be a great time. So we got a 2 for tomorrow night, chat. We got dose shows tomorrow. It's going to be great. So with that said, chat, I will see you guys tomorrow. And remember, until next time, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Unless you're the Tates. And I mean, like, who doesn't think they're guilty? I mean, they are sketchy as fuck. And, you know, they brought this on themselves. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for him at all. I don't feel bad for him. So, with that said, chat, you guys take care and have a great night. And I'll redirect you guys here in a second. So, good night, chat.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy?